We have made it to midweek. Welcome in. This is three-man front on Jox, Pat Landrum, Molly Conrad with you until 2 o'clock. Very busy Wednesday, as we always have on tap for you. Brian Edwards, Vegas Insider at 10:45. The voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, who'll be heading south to Tallahassee. Chris Stewart will join us at 11. David Smoke, one of the hosts of one of the top shows in the state of Texas, 365 Sports, that originates out of Waco. He will join the program, and we'll talk to him about the Baylor Bears hosting Auburn on Friday night, and Trey Wallace from Outkick in the 12 o'clock hour. But we do have some time if you would like to give us a ring at 1-800-239-WJOX. The courtesy GMC text line is open at 205-834-9450. But we start the show today. Today is an anniversary. Conrad, are you aware of today's anniversary?
I am not, actually.
You're not?
I am not.
You never remember.
What is today the anniversary?
I mean, this does not have anything technically to do with Alabama unless something happens Saturday. But this is more a Florida State anniversary.
Oh, I thought it was like to his birthday or something.
I thought you would know that off the top of your head.
No, sorry, I don't.
Why would you not know?
Is this the infamous crab legs?
No, it is not, but that is a very good guess.
Okay.
Would you like to take another guess? Molly, you got a guess?
I actually don't.
Okay, go ahead. You got another one?
No, I was going to go further than 1 year. I was going to say something significant that Burt Reynolds did.
Oh, was it the guy that made the bet about the...
You better believe it.
Oh, the dog poop
Yes.
bet.
1 year ago today, a Florida State fan said that he would eat dog blank if FSU lost to Boston College. FSU lost 28-13, and no dog blank was eaten.
Man, what a day.
Cursed the Noles to a 2-0 season.
That is not a challenge that I will be undertaking. I apologize.
You know, it is interesting because if
A lot
you
of people go dog poop.
Yeah.
Or poop in general.
But basically, he said, this was the exact tweet, by the way. Says, if Florida State loses to BC this weekend, I will eat dog blank out of a red Solo cup with a spoon and post a video of me doing it.
See, if you forced me to do it, I would go rabbit pellets. They would be.
I did not anticipate you saying that.
I think it would be easier. Just imagine Cocoa Puffs or
Are they
maybe larger Dippin' Dots.
Are they smaller than like dough pellets?
Ugh.
Like from a
Yeah.
baby dough?
Yeah, they're small.
'Cause those are kind of small
Yeah.
too. Okay.
So, see, we like to inform and entertain on this program.
I wonder how he's doing.
It's very interesting.
Not well. He's a liar, obviously.
It's not doing.
Well, if you go and you look at his social media account, it was deleted,
Yeah.
and then he's come back earlier this year, but he hasn't posted a lot. But
Yeah, Conrad, the used toothbrush, somebody else's toothbrush, that was one thing. But Paige would never kiss you again. She might divorce you.
Yeah, I would divorce myself if I did something like that. I would just say this: at least when I commit to doing something, I do it. Even if I fail, I do it. Now, you will never hear me commit to eating dog crap, but
out of a red Solo cup with a spoon.
No.
specific. That was very specific on his part too. It's just for bizarre, but no, I'm good.
Oh,
So you don't want to proclaim some type of, if Alabama loses to Florida State, I will do the following on this program
I
today?
thought you already did that.
I am there. I'm going to buy Dave a drink.
Oh,
No, I thought it was
I thought we
something
came up
more.
with another. Oh, no, that was a Vanderbilt bet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. I think if Alabama lost to Vanderbilt again, I could never wear the Tua jersey again or something, or I had to burn the Tua jersey. Or
Let's just do something
like that.
simple, and it would be at no cost to you. I'll go buy a costume store or something like that. You wear war paint. for the
Oh,
week.
if Alabama loses to Florida State?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll wear war paint on Tuesday because I won't be here on Monday because I'm
Sweet.
scared of facing defeat.
So Tuesday you will wear war paint on your face.
Yeah, if you get some. Yeah, if Alabama loses. Yep.
And Molly gets to apply it.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love doing makeup.
Sounds good. Oh, Lord.
I knew that would be your wheelhouse.
Really need Alabama to pull out a win. This is just a straight up win, right? Not covering. You just have to win the game. And I'm good.
Yes.
Okay.
I was kind of hoping for the red Solo cup challenge, but
Yeah.
okay.
I'm
Please
good.
don't do that.
No, I'm good.
What do we put surströmming in a red Solo cup?
I would take that over the.
Well, we could order it
Dog
now and it'll be here
feces.
by Christmas. So
Well, we also learned what was botulism. Gotta watch out for that.
botulism, that'll get you.
Yeah. Gotta be careful about what you eat.
He's worried about botulism, but he puts a total stranger's toothbrush in his mouth and,
Well, I'm not
and
gonna
rubs
get-
it all over his tongue.
I'm not gonna get botulism from them. I'll get
No, you could get-
laryngitis or something.
No, that's something that could be developing in your mouth right now.
Yeah.
It could have been developing over the past month. Isn't that when you did it? About a month ago?
It's been about a month.
How you feel?
I feel great.
Could be
okay.
festering
I
there.
feel great.
That dirty, dirty mouth of yours.
Never better.
We are a day closer to the big game on Friday night between Baylor and Auburn. All media will pretty much stop over the course of the next couple of days as they are putting the finishing touches on the game plan for the Baylor Bears. So it's going to be interesting talking to David Smoke from 365 Sports coming up in the 12 o'clock hour just to see how the town of Waco is taking this because, you know, they ended the season last year on an extremely high note. There's a lot of confidence. You remember we talked to David Smoke last year about this time, and he was talking about all the pressure on Dave Aranda of trying to get that program turned around. And it didn't look very good at the very beginning, but then back into the season, they were one of the best teams in the country. They were very hot. You heard Hugh Freeze talking about that earlier this week. One of the better teams in the second half of the season in all of college football. So it'll be interesting to hear David Smoke's take on this team and the kind of pressure Dave Aranda's under right now.
Yeah, and I know that there's a lot of confidence because of the momentum you mentioned and how they ended the last season. But now, and look, even week to week, it's tough with momentum. But with so many different faces and names on that roster, I don't know how much you can really hit your wagon to. But the fans certainly feeling confident. You got a home game on a Friday night. It's kind of your spotlight, your stage to be on. They're going to be fired up, and Hugh Freeze and Auburn, they got to go in and take care of business.
And you're going to hear this a lot about the game. And when you talk about the offense, Sawyer Robinson for Baylor, I did not realize this till I was reading some of the game notes from Baylor. That last year he finished 4th in the Big 12 in passing. Okay. He averaged 256 yards, 28 touchdowns, and interceptions. Coming back this year, he has the highest returning QBR of any quarterback in the nation. Of any returning quarterback, the highest QBR. So, not saying that they got an offensive line that can stop Falk. Not saying that they have a passing game that can break out through the Auburn secondary, but at least Sawyer Robinson, I think if he is given time, he can make this game pretty interesting because his numbers, and with him being the top quarterback QBR-wise coming back in college football, I don't think a lot of people realize that because Arch Manning is going to get all the publicity because he's a Manning. But the fact that Sawyer Robinson has those numbers, that's something you need to pay attention to.
No, he's a really good quarterback in this day and age. And I think when we talked to Steve Russ about it, now with offenses and how they're designed, you're going to give up plays. You're going to give up yards. You just got to limit those opportunities. And especially when they're in the red zone, you got to be able to diagnose it. I think pressure, that's going to be a key for Auburn. How do they dial up that pressure? How many times are they going to be dropping guys in the secondary? How much cushion are they going to be giving the wide receivers? But from what we've heard in the offseason, especially fall camp, about Auburn's secondary going up against those receivers and Sawyer Robertson, that will be a good first test. Well, we'll know pretty soon about this Auburn defense and are they legit?
Yeah, and one thing's for sure. I mean, Baylor has, based on their schedule, not only you're playing Auburn to start the season, you got a pretty tough Big 12 schedule, but they play 11 Power 4 programs this year on their schedule. 11 of their 12 are Power 4 programs. There's only 2 schools in America that's doing it, and they're one of them. TCU is the other one, and both of them come out of the Big 12 conference. So that says a lot. Now, they might end up losing the majority of those Power 4 games, but at least going into the season, you got to take your hats off to them and TCU, especially for their scheduling and the way that the Big 12 apparently is going to obviously play out this year.
It's a fun first matchup. The expectations on both sides and the new additions and just kind of see where those programs are. And especially for Hugh Freeze and Auburn, going on the road, if you can get that early season hostile environment road win, man, I can't put enough emphasis on how important this game is, in my opinion, for Auburn's season.
No, there's no doubt about it. And you look at some of the other numbers, and once again, we'll talk to someone in Waco that will give us a little bit more details about what to worry about if you're a Baylor fan. But last year, their secondary was extremely porous. And if Jackson Arnold can get hot and one of the best wide receiver rooms in America can get open, it can be a long night in Waco.
Yeah, and the criticism, if you want to call it that, of Hugh Freeze wanting to see Jackson Arnold in the pocket, and we don't know situationally what that looked like in practice, but if Jackson Arnold is able to extend, get outside of the pocket, and create with the wide receiver talent and the speed that you have there, if it is a continuation of a poor secondary, or you're picking on some guys we already know that their nickel, Randa said earlier in the week in his press conference, was not going to be available. I think it was one of their nickel backs. It was one of their starting defensive backs. Then guys like Cam Coleman and others can get open. Eric Singleton, is he going to be available? That's a question. I think a lot of Auburn fans know, and I don't know. Are we going to know that by game time?
Obviously it's not a conference game, so you're not going to get an availability report. So we'll have to wait and see about that. So should be a fun one coming up on Friday night as we get your Labor Day weekend started. And, of course, you can hear the Auburn game right here on the Jox family of networks. And, Molly, our Twitter poll question of the day has to do with Auburn fans heading out to the Southwest.
Yeah, let's say you're headed out to Waco for the Baylor game. What would be the number one thing to do on your bucket list? Fishing on the Brazos, Magnolia Market, the Woolly Mammoth Monument, or the Dr. Pepper Museum?
I got a feeling, and I haven't looked at it in a couple hours, I got a feeling Dr. Pepper is winning.
Oh,
Am I right?
is. Yes, about 42%. We have a tie for second, though. So both the Fishing on the Brazos and Magnolia Market are at 22%.
Okay.
And then you have the Woolly Mammoth Monument at about 14.
You know, I was reading the woolly mammoth. They believe that it was like 65,000 years ago, something like that. Old. I don't know how you come up with 65,000 years, but
Checks out to when they've lived, right?
yeah.
Something like that.
What are the differences, Conrad, between the
They
woolly
have-
mammoth and the elephant?
Pachyderm
Pachyderm.
The hair, right?
and the tusks.
Yeah, aren't the tusks longer and sharper?
Yeah, maybe the ears.
Yeah, I guess it was just a thing with tusks back then because you had the saber-toothed tiger, which I was always a fan of as a kid. Disappointed to find out those didn't exist when I grew up. But, yeah, something like that. Watch Ice Age. I'm sure they tell you.
So which one would you do if you're in Waco?
Oh, Dr. Pepper.
That's what I would go for.
Big fan of Dr. Pepper. I'm disappointed. I've been to Waco before. I didn't know that was they had a museum for it, so I missed out on my opportunity to go.
Yeah, I think where Landrum wanted to go.
I would go off the grid. I would just ask somebody in town, hey, where is it?
It's 13 miles, I think, northeast of Waco.
Okay.
Where you wanted to go.
Just where is it? Lock it in my coordinates. I just want to go back.
Okay. See, I've only been like on the campus of Baylor. I haven't been in the surrounding areas, so I guess that's why I missed it.
And where is Mi Casita?
Oh.
I want to go there after my visit to the place that Pat's referencing.
Show me the booth. I know you have the booth. I want to sit in it.
Yeah, I want to sit in it.
In that booth.
And that, yeah, the Scott Drew booth. You have to sit in it.
Yep. I bet they don't have chicken feathers.
No, not like the ones we ate
Definitely
yesterday.
not.
Well, the Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal, but don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Train cooling system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand for 11 consecutive years, and they're the official cooling partner here at Jox. So go and find a comfort specialist near you at train.com.
Well, one of the first official picks, like it's in the newspaper, has been made between Alabama and Florida State. We will share with you next what the prediction is, and did Alabama cover that prediction? That's next on Three Man Front. 10:17 on Jox. This is Three Man Front. At 10:45, we'll talk to Vegas insider Brian Edwards, get his thoughts, his winners for this upcoming week 1 in college football. Speaking of winners, Abide Roofing is ready to help you out today with a free, no-pressure roof inspection. You take advantage of this really great weather that we've got right now. Many of us are calling it faux fall because it feels so good outside, and probably about a week from now, we'll have thunderstorms and hot weather again. That's exactly what's going to happen. So you need to call Abide Roofing, Travis Lloyd and that fantastic local roofing team. They're ready to help you today, whether it's Trussville, Vestavia, Homewood, Gardendale. You know, we've had these really bad storms over the course of the last few weeks in summer. So you just don't know what kind of damage you have on top of your roof. So that's why Travis and the team is ready to come to your house, get on your roof, free, no pressure roof inspection. And they're going to tell you what's going on, whether it's just a couple loose shingles. If it's more than that, more destructive work is happening to your roof because of the weather and the wind and the rain, then they can take care of all that. They're going to deal with your insurance company. That's exactly what they did with me. So call them at Abide Roofing, 205-941-6223, or go to their website, abideroof.com. That's ABIDE roof.com. We have our first publication that has officially put points down and given us a prediction for Saturday's game between Florida State and Alabama. The Tuscaloosa News, this morning's edition, they have posted an Alabama 31-17 win against Florida State. So if you're keeping score at home, kids, Alabama would cover based on the Tuscaloosa News and their prediction, 31-17.
31-17. We've heard that score this week. 38-17, 31-17.
You said 38-17?
Yeah, that's my prediction.
Haven't heard a whole lot of Alabama fans, and there might be out there, and we might hear from them in the next 3 days, and we hope we do, but predicting an Alabama blowout.
I also don't know if I've heard a single FSU fan say that they think they're going to win. Even Dave yesterday, I mean, he conceded, yeah, I think Alabama's going to win. He's just pulling for the cover.
Less of a sample size, but I have not either.
No.
I mean, we heard Ira tell us yesterday that
they just need to go and look like a competent
Florida
team.
State fans would be happy if they played hard for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that from all 136 FBS teams this season, but we won't get it.
Hey, what do you hear as a kid, right? Just go have fun. Just go have fun for 60 minutes. Go have fun.
Fun.
That's all FSU wants. Just have fun.
Football is not fun anymore.
So that
It's a business.
Does that solidify your score prediction for the game?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to change it. So I'll stick with that. I feel good. I feel good about that.
38-17.
Yep. 21-point win.
Tuscaloosa News going 31.
What's the score at halftime? Is it 21-10?
Oh, let me see if we
See,
can
I think at halftime, I think it'd be a little more interesting. Like that sounds 17-10, something like that at halftime.
Gus comes out, scores a quick touchdown.
Yeah, I've already said I think Alabama's down 7-0 early.
Alabama answers.
Mhm.
Then whoever's kicking field goals for Florida State, field goal, and then garbage touchdown at the end for Florida State.
Alabama is a 7-point favorite in the first half.
Okay.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I like 17-10 for the first half. That sounds like a good number.
25.5 is the point total for the first half. You like the over or under?
25.5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll go over that.
What would be the
17-10 would be
biggest?
27.
What do you predict, Conrad, would be the biggest criticism at Alabama at halftime? Not throwing to Ryan Williams enough.
I know what it's going to be.
No, it's probably going to be they let Thomas Castellanos run around a little bit too much. And that would be Pat disagrees with that. I'm interested to see what he says. My thing with Alabama is this was a problem they had last year. Like, go to the Oklahoma game. It didn't feel like they ever really made adjustments to what Oklahoma was doing. It's just, they just have a good game plan and we can't really adjust to it. So that would be my thing for Alabama is if Florida State and Gus have their way early on, are they able to correct that at halftime? What do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be what DeBoer's wearing.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I agree.
Are we all in agreement? Hoodie, the athletic wear hoodie?
I don't know. It's going to be pretty warm. 2:30 in Tallahassee.
You think you just get T-shirt?
No, I think he goes. What about? Does he potentially go? Yeah, long sleeve, cool gear.
With no, it's not a hoodie?
Scripted A, no hoodie, like performance gear.
Oh,
T-shirt,
you mean
untucked.
just like
yeah.
kind of what I
untucked,
have, like one
kind
of
of wear,
these?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wears a little bit,
I can see that.
not too snug.
It won't have a collar. I can guarantee you that. He wore a collar during his press conference the other day. Hopefully that was enough for people.
Yeah.
Golly, if he ever wears a collar on the sideline and they lose, he will never hear the end of it.
Meanwhile, Auburn is a half-point favorite in the first half.
Oh, I was like, man, that line's moved again.
Wow, yeah.
No.
Okay, half point in the first half.
27.5 is the point total in the first half.
14-13. Take the under.
And your Nebraska, that line has come down. It was a touchdown yesterday. Now it's down to 6.5. And Nebraska's a 3.5-point favorite in the first half.
Man, there is so much momentum right now on that campus in Cincinnati with the announcement.
Nah, I don't care. I'm still
Well, you
taking
don't care about the
Huskers.
announcement?
No, I
I thought
do.
you cried when the announcement came through.
Oh, I was very happy for them, but I don't care about Cincinnati.
Oh.
I'm taking Nebraska.
They're going to tandem skydive onto the 50 before the.
Speaking of Cincinnati, I saw this clip earlier. I thought it was interesting because I'd forgotten that Butch Jones was the head coach at Cincinnati when Travis Kelce was the tight end there. And he'd had a little bit in his press conference yesterday. Oh, yeah, me and Travis, we were talking the other day. And apparently Travis Kelce was dropping hints to Butch Jones that he was about to get engaged, and Butch didn't pick up on it. So
Let me guess.
Thought that
Butch
was
Jones
kinda
has
funny.
been criticized for underutilizing Travis Kelce when his time at Cincinnati.
I would say that he probably was underutilized in hindsight.
They all were, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Brock Bowers should have used him more. How could you have used that guy more?
Butch Jones,
Oh,
Bald
Butch,
Brock Bowers now.
champion of life.
brick by brick.
Yes, sir.
The trash can on the sideline, man. Nothing like
Is he still at Arkansas State?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Red Wolves. Let's go.
They won 8 games last year. They're on the up and up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He used to go get water for Coach Saban.
You think he spit out?
No. But so did Derek Dooley, who's now running for the Senate in the state of Georgia.
So now that we've got that look behind the curtain with the Arch Manning story, is it like Daddy wants some water, and then Butch goes and runs down the hallway to fetch him?
Daddy gets what he wants.
Yeah, Daddy gets what he
Is
wants.
Daddy thirsty?
You think Daddy's thirsty?
You think Daddy's thirsty?
Daddy's thirsty.
Well, you know what? Daddy's always thirsty.
I
Got a
just
cup of
love
water
to
right
think
here.
that he talks about himself in the third person and refers to himself as Daddy now.
Well, there's some good news. You're just talking about the champions of life at the University of Tennessee. Josh Hypel got extended yesterday, a 1-year contract extension. His contract will now go through 2030. Hypel got a 2-year extension and got his raise bumped from $5 million to $9 million back in January 2023. But since he made the college football playoff, Tennessee has now extended him another year. But I was reading through his contract, and I found it pretty interesting because he did not get a raise on this extension. But did you see the caveat
I might have missed the caveat. I just saw he wasn't getting a raise.
about the airplane?
I missed the caveat about the airplane.
Yep. Here's the caveat. In his old contract, he could use the University of Tennessee private plane for 5 occupied legs or 15 occupied hours of flight time. I guess if him and his family wanted to fly to Destin.
So per year, you get 15 hours of
Whatever.
airtime. Yeah.
In this new deal, everything's doubled.
Nice.
So now he and his guests or family can have up to 10 occupied legs or 30 occupied hours of flight time, whichever comes first. The previous was a max of 5.
I know Kim Mulkey, LSU's women's basketball coach, she had that in there, but I seems like it was like unlimited for her.
See, I just want to know, how does that compare to, because we've had some like Jackson Dart had one. I think Marcel Reed has one this year, the private jet sponsorships.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder how that compares because it'd be funny, in a scenario like late in the season. It's like, man, I ran out of time on my private jet. Hey, that quarterback at Texas A&M, you think you can give me a lift somewhere? It'd just be funny to think that the players could have more access to something like that than a head coach of a program.
Well, if I'm making $8 million a year, I'm probably not going to want to fly commercial.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with who I am or people recognizing me. If I'm Josh Hypel, it's the convenience of going to a tarmac, walking onto a plane, and usually not dealing with any of that other nonsense that we get in airports today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're going to pay for it, but that'd be nice.
And on top of that, if the plane's not available, then they will, obviously, if you want to charter another plane.
They'll cover that.
Or private, yeah, depending on they'll take care of that too. So it was a nice little caveat in the
Coach,
old Josh Hypel.
Coach, how many wet bars did you need in this plane?
Good for Hypel.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get a raise, but gets some more fringe benefits.
Well, that's good though. Revenue stream. It's tight right now, so we
Mm-hmm.
just give him more hours on the plane that we already have. We're going to pay it in jet fuel, but we'll go to our boys at whatchamacallit, Pilot, to fill
Yeah.
up the jet with the jet fuel.
I thought this was interesting. I don't know if y'all saw any of this last night either, but it felt like once this news came out, I started to see people criticizing Josh Hypel, maybe more than I have in the past, and people raising questions of, okay, well, I mean, have we seen, I guess, the ceiling of what he can accomplish at Tennessee? Like, is making the playoff as good as it gets? And they brought up the fact that, a lot of his guys that have gone to the NFL have been busts, to be fair. So I just thought it was interesting because I feel like a lot of people are very positive about Hypel and what he's been able to do with that program. And now he gets a contract extension, even though it's only a year. And I started to see people kind of coming out of the woodworks questioning, well, is this really going to be good enough for Tennessee in a couple years?
If it's Tennessee fans saying that, I would remind them that there's a coach in Baton Rouge and a coach in Oxford, Mississippi that have still not gotten to a college football playoff.
Also, we were just talking about Butch Jones.
Yes, and Derek Dooley.
And Derek Dooley, yes. I just thought that was fascinating. I'm like, oh, okay.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yep.
And he'll probably get a pass this year because of the
Yeah.
Nico situation.
The breakup.
He will.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that was another thing I saw people bring up of this guy was supposed to be incredible and didn't show a lot of progress, I guess, in his time at Tennessee. But
that was
that's
a swing and miss.
yeah. Yep. But that happens.
Golston Tree Service at 205-337-4443. They are ready to help you. They're your trusted local experts in fast, affordable, professional tree removal, trimming, and cleanup, licensed, insured, ready to handle any job, big or small. Call Golston today, 205-337-4443. Golston also offers that very important 24-hour emergency tree service. So when it comes to your trees, don't risk it. Call Golston today, 205-337-4443. More three-man front as we roll along on this Wednesday. 15 minutes from now, we'll talk to Brian Edwards from Vegas Insider, MajorWager.com. 10:33. Welcome back. This is Jox 3-Man Front. Pat Landrum, Molly Conrad. Had a great time last night. Molly and I were in attendance at the Coach Safely Foundation fundraiser. A lot of fun. Paul Feinbaum. Senator Tommy Tuberville was there. Tommy went down memory road. Molly, it was pretty funny listening to Paul give Coach Tuberville a hard time about Jetgate and the Pine Box.
I'm going to be serious. I was laughing the entire time the two of them were up there together.
No, it was great.
It was great to watch.
It was fantastic. It was a wonderful setting at Vestavia Country Club. Raised a lot of money for CoachSafely.org. Bill Clark, former UAB head coach, of course, the podcast you can hear right here on Jox. He is the president of Coach Safely, and it was great seeing a lot of great people there last night. Putting their support and obviously the financial support as well for the organization and having Paul and Coach Tuberville. It was a lot of fun. Now maybe Coach Tuberville maybe kind of had different rememberings of some things that happened.
That happens as time goes on.
Yeah, it does. Kind of repackage some things, that potentially happened. It didn't happen. But it was a great time. Just kind of Paul took the gloves off, as you would anticipate.
Any hints at the gubernatorial?
Well, I mean, Paul has offered his services in his cabinet. I don't know if Tuberville will take him up on it. Because I will say this, Senator Tuberville, he was not putting the cart before the horse. Like, Paul kept saying, well, you're going to be governor. And he's like, still got an election to go through now.
Yep.
So.
All that mudslinging.
Yep.
Oh, Paul would be great in his cabinet.
I don't know what he would do, though.
Yeah, I don't know either, but Paul's a sharp fella.
He could be the media handler if he needed some help with that, right?
I think Tuberville does pretty good with that.
Yeah, he does.
Would you want Paul for PR? Just to put out a statement?
I think you're wasting his talents there.
From the desk of the governor, but I think it would be highly entertaining if Paul had the pen and he's writing that stuff.
We're just like, hey, Paul, I kind of need, take some heat off my back. Throw a hot take out there.
He did say this last night, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I've ever heard him say this. Not that this is breaking news. I mean, there's like 400 people there last night, so it's not like I'm saying something out of school. But he said, as we were talking about Jetgate and everything that happened, he said that Bobby Petrino was one of the best coaches that he had ever worked with. Just said he was incredible. Just the offensive mind and just him. And, of course, Paul immediately, started taking some shots at the infamous motorcycle ride and things that took place in Arkansas for Bobby Petrino. But he did. I'd never heard Coach Tuberville say that about Bobby Petrino. But he was.
I've never heard a coach, because I was friends with somebody who was on his staff with the Falcons and later at another stop, and he said, no, his football mind's great. He just sucks with people.
Yeah, that would sum it up when it comes to Bobby
Petrino.
Petrino.
That was a nice way to describe what the guy told me.
Yeah, if you remember when he was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, he just left.
He left. There were sticky notes.
Yeah, put notes in the locker. Said, I'm out. Kudos. See ya.
That's how King Griffey Jr. retired.
It's different.
Yeah.
It was a little different, wasn't it?
A little bit different than Bobby Petrino.
Let's not put those two names together. I've got a lot of respect for King
I'm sorry,
Griffey Jr. as a man.
Yeah. So, but I never heard him say that before, especially when you're telling a story about what happened with Auburn sending Board of Trustees members and the president.
Oh, but that was what, 2003?
And it was a week before the Iron Bowl.
Think about all the crud that has happened between then and now with not only Tommy's coaching career, but the political realm. That's all fun and games now.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, I mean, he brought that up too. He was talking about, so I'm dealing with Nancy Pelosi on a daily basis. Being back at the SEC, that's
his Dana Holgerson.
Yeah. Oh man, how much do you think Tub wins by? Think as much as he beat Doug Jones into the ground?
I don't remember what that percentage was, but I think that Tubbs gets 65%.
65. I think he beat Doug Jones like maybe 68. Was it 68 to 32? Something like that.
It was just funny because we had a handful of people last week texting in like, I was going to vote for Tuberville, but now that they're claiming all these national championships, I can't vote for the guy anymore.
Oh, hey, do you remember? Did you see what he was doing with his hand last night on stage?
No.
Oh, he was wearing his ring.
Oh.
I'm sure he was.
Oh yeah, he says he's been wearing it a lot more lately.
You don't say.
After he has become I had a joke written because I was the MC at the beginning of it. I had a joke written that I was said, depending on how long the night goes, Coach Tuberville might get another national championship before we walk out of here. But I decided not to.
Oh, that would have been
You
so
should've.
good.
I know. I kept it in the fairway. Landrum would have been proud.
You're too professional, Pat.
Yeah. You could have just said, hey, Coach, by the way, I don't know if you got this on your phone, but Auburn just claimed another one.
That would have been good. All right, we are going to run to our next break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to our good friend Brian Edwards. We're going to give him plenty of time to give us some winners. Conrad needs winners this weekend. He's trying to buy Paige something nice for the Labor Day weekend, so he needs a couple winners. Hopefully, Brian will give us that next on Three Man Front. Week 0 is in the books. We are straight ahead looking forward to week 1, Labor Day weekend. Games galore will be the final weekend that the college football world will absolutely have center stage because the NFL will be in action the following week, which will be technically week 2 of college football. And joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline is our good friend from MajorWager.com, Vegas Insider. Brian Edwards joins us here on the program. I hope you made a lot of money this weekend in week 0, Brian.
Made a decent chunk. I was basically a wash Saturday night. I won pretty good on Iowa State, and I ended up taking Fresno plus 14, which I lost, but I ended up making a live bet on Hawaii, and I enjoyed watching that.
That was fun.
Quarterback.
Yeah, that was fun.
Alejandro or Hando. I forget. Alejandro or Hando. He was good.
Nobody's going to correct you. How much did you enjoy your former coach of the Florida Gators, Dan Mullen, in that stellar performance by his UNLV running Rebs?
So whenever the line became available for me, which I don't think was until Friday afternoon, because I think I told y'all that, I lean UNLV, and it was like 26.5, 27, like midweek. It was 30.5 whenever I saw it, so I didn't bet it. But what I did like is I like to see that, although it's not Todd Grantham, in fact, it's Zach Garnett, Leach's former DC that was briefly the head coach at Mississippi State as his DC. But I like seeing that. I think overs are going to be a thing with UNLV. And so Monday morning, I jumped on UNLV at Sam Houston. And by the way, their game last week with Western Kentucky in week 0 went over 61.5 as they lost 41-24 for 65 combined. So I jumped on it at 60.5. And this is a Friday night game, by the way, but short week, but it doesn't matter because they both played Saturday. Well, UNLV does have to travel, but anyhow, it's up to 60, and that's why I took it because I figured it would go higher, and it did. But I like, 63 is a key number on a total, being a multiple of 7. As long as it's 63 or fewer on Friday night, I like UNLV and Sam Houston to go over.
Okay, good stuff. All right, let's look at another game. How about South Carolina? How are you feeling on South Carolina this season? Because we've talked to people, Brian, just to give you a little background, and people are either hot on South Carolina thinking, all right, we might get a replication of a 9-3, maybe a 10-2. We have heard from people we respect, they're predicting 5-7. How are you reading the Gamecocks?
I'm more in the 7-5-ish, but it's more just they had 5 studs drafted in the first 4 rounds off of their defense, and so I'm just thinking they're not going to be as salty defensively. But Monday they got the great news they were waiting on, and that's that Utah State transfer running back Rasul Faison is eligible. And this guy, if you never watched him play, this guy's an absolute stud. I saw him. I had a live bet on an Iowa-Utah State game that was the opener a couple of years ago, and that was his debut at Utah State from JUCO. And I had an Iowa Live or halftime bet that I was rooting for, and this guy was driving me nuts because he kept making big runs, and I ended up winning it, but he scared the heck out of me and made a big impression on me. So they've got a guy who's not going to be that much of a drop-off from Rocket Sanders. So anyway, that was good news for them. I'm more in the 7-5 camp, but I'm way down on Virginia Tech. And look, if you have a money line parlay or a teaser working this weekend, which I really don't, but if you do, I think South Carolina should be your last leg of it. They're 7.5 or 8 right now, and basically you'd be getting them, 1.5 or 2 or whatever number you get. But anyhow, I'm going to buy the half, or I've already bought the half point from 7.5 to 7. Now I got to have it at 7, and if your number's 8 and it's like minus 140 to buy it to 7, pass on that. But if you can get 7 at minus 125 price, I like South Carolina. But I'm not in the bullish camp for them this year. I just think Virginia Tech's not going to be very good.
All right, let's talk about Indiana. And, of course, their head coach made news over the offseason because he took shots at the SEC and their scheduling. And in his scheduling wisdom, they play Old Dominion to start out the season. I'm looking at the first half line, which is Indiana, which is right under 2 touchdowns at minus 13.5 versus Old Dominion. Do you like that there? Is that too rich?
So I like a minus 13.5 in the first half. A lot of people expect regression from Indiana. I'm not one of them, and the schedule is cake once again. And I've also bet them over 8.5 wins at a little bit of plus money. They have a bunch of studs back, and Fernando Mendoza might be as good as Curtis Rourke. He might be better. They got their 2 stud receivers back, Elijah Surratt, 957 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns last year. He's on most preseason All-American teams. They've got like 4 guys that are. Aiden Fisher, their middle linebacker, D'Angelo Pons, one of the best cover corners in the country. And excuse me. And they also got a stud Notre Dame transfer O-lineman in Pat Coogan. And they're going to be really good again. And so I like them minus 13.5 in the first half. I'm not against them minus 23.5 for the game, but I think the smaller number when you don't have to worry about scrubs being in late, I think that's the better bet. But I'm down for either one of them.
I'd like to circle back to a game that you gave us a few weeks ago that you had your eye on, and it's a matchup of the MAC and the Big Ten. You got Buffalo taking on PJ Fleck and Minnesota. It's in Minnesota, but you like the Bulls in this one. Explain why.
Yeah, so Buffalo went 9-4 last year, 5-game winning streak to end the season. They won 7 games by double digits last year. But what I like is this specific matchup because we know that PJ Fleck loves to run the football, and he's got a stud running back in Darius Taylor, and he's also got a redshirt freshman quarterback in Drake Lindsey, who's only thrown 5 passes and making his first career start. So he's going to want to run the ball early and often. And by the way, Drake Lindsey's from Fayetteville, and and Razorbacks did not even offer him a scholarship. They offered him to walk on. So that's why he went to Minnesota. But so the key to the handicap to me is Buffalo's run defense and their front 7, and they've got one of the best linebackers in the country in Red Murdoch, second in the nation in tackles with 156 last year, 17 TFLs, 7 forced fumbles, which led the nation, and he had 4 forced fumbles in 2023. His 11 career forced fumbles are 13th all-time in college football history. Their defensive end, Kobe Stewart, led the MAC in sacks last year, and they've got another linebacker in Deion Crawford, who was 3rd-team All-MAC last season, and he had 15 TFLs. And their 2 D tackles, George Wolo and Cornell Evans, are preseason 3rd-team All-MAC and 4th-team All-MAC, respectively, in Phil Steele's MAC. So, and their D-line ranks 44th in Phil Steele's national unit rankings. Their linebackers 72. They also have a running back in Al-Jay Henderson, 1,078 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns, 5.3 yards per carry average last year. And Buffalo, since 2017, is a double-digit underdog, 10-5 against the spread with 3 outright wins. I like them. The line's actually gone to 17.5 or maybe even 18 since I was endorsing it at 17 a few weeks ago.
In our remaining minutes, and we'll give you the opportunity towards the very end to kind of roll off some other things that you like, but I wanted to ask you about Auburn and Baylor. Do you have a play in that? Auburn currently a 2.5-point favorite.
Nope, I'm passing, and I saw Eric Singleton still in a non-contact jersey yesterday. That's pretty big. I mean, they're wide receivers. They got great wide receivers. He's probably the second best behind Cam Coleman. And it looks like if he plays, he may not be 100% dealing with a thigh injury. Maybe a Charlie horse. Charlie horses are no good if you need to run. So I'm passing on that. We might get involved live if either team gets a big lead early. Okay.
What about Alabama and FSU? Alabama is still holding on as a 13.5-point favorite.
I'm just rooting for the Tide to deal out a 5-touchdown punt slap. But I'm not laying the points with Alabama. Y'all
come on, Brian.
The double-digit favorite last year, so I'm not laying the points.
You're a little scared of that. I understand.
Pretty good transfers, but hey, roll Tide. Let's go. 5-touchdown beatdown. Let's go.
All right, so rapid fire. Give us what else you got, because I know so many people's got their pen and paper out writing this down. Some other plays you like this weekend.
So I bought the Cuse, Tennessee from 51.5 to 52 and took the under. I'm also on Miami of Ohio. This is probably one of my smaller plays. Miami of Ohio plus 17.5 at Wisconsin tomorrow. I'm not against Cincinnati, a small opinion, plus if you can get 7 tomorrow against Nebraska at Arrowhead and Kansas City. Season win totals, last call. Vandy over, Florida over, Indiana over, Illinois over, Kentucky under.
So you like Illinois over? Did you just say Illinois over? You like that one?
Yeah. Well, I got it 7.5 minus 135 early in the summer. Now it's 8.5 at most books plus money, but I do think they win 9, but not a big risk on that one. And Buffalo plus 550 to win the MAC, Clemson plus 120 to win the ACC. Commanders over 9.5. We can talk about that next week. The Lions plus 155 win the NFC North. Haynes King 90 to 1 to win the Heisman. Small change.
Wait. Time out. I've known you a long time. Would you please repeat what you just told me that you put money down on?
Small change on Haynes King 90 to 1 to win the Heisman.
Georgia Tech's my dark horse to get to the college football playoff. They're not going to do it without Haynes King being in the Heisman conversation, Pat.
Not against Georgia Tech over 7.5 wins either.
Brian is a professional.
I know he is.
I'm saying small risk, I mean, a 90 to 1 bet, you just go into it knowing you're going to lose. But if it has life in November and you got a Georgia game coming up, looming, where you could be a showcase game, and he absolutely shredded the Dogs between the hedges last year. Had no business losing that game.
Okay, I stand corrected.
This is the guy who almost hit big on the Commanders last year, Pat.
Listen.
I did hit big, but I almost hit him big to win the Super Bowl.
This is how Brian feeds his family. This isn't a weekend warrior. Oh, I think I'll fire in on the game. He's a pro.
I know he is. Hey, Brian, enjoy week 1. Enjoy the Labor Day weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one.
See ya. Haynes King for Heisman.
Yes.
I see the bumper sticker in downtown Atlanta as we speak.
In Haynes, we trust.
It is 11 o'clock. Welcome back. This is Three Man Front on Jox. Pat Landrum, Molly Conrad with you until 2 o'clock. Each and every week during this time, thanks to Crane Works, we are afforded the opportunity to discuss Alabama football with the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Crane Works, Rental Works, yeah, the big dog's got it.
Crimson Tide Network's Chris Stewart on Three Man Front is brought to you by Crane Works. Lift it, buy it, rent it. The big dog's got it. And now, Chris Stewart.
And Chris joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Chris, I hope you're doing well on this Wednesday. Hope your week 0 weekend was nice, quiet, and relaxing.
It was. I got to play a little golf tournament with my son. We played awful, but I got to spend the time with him in a parent-child tournament out at Bent Brook, and I'm so locked in on game week that I'm talking to you from Greystone today at a charity tournament as well. So I'm really focused. Can you tell?
Hey, that's okay. Hey, we all have our processes that we go through in which we get ready for the games. So I have no problem.
We do.
Well,
if Bama's as dialed in as I am through the first 2 holes, we're in good shape.
Okay, good.
That's all I'm saying.
Good.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's a beautiful morning to be out there. There's no doubt about that.
Yes, definitely.
I'm just curious, speaking of that week 0 weekend, did you get an opportunity to watch much football to kind of get you in the mood to this week, or is it that last deep breath before the long marathon, which is the season?
It's a combination. I did not build my schedule around the games that were on, but I did make sure I got home, or when I was home, that I checked out games and couldn't get enough. And like everybody, I think week 0, you watch games that you may not ordinarily watch. Kansas State, Iowa State's not going to fire me up, and both are good programs. It's not a slight at them. It's just there's not a whole lot of interest. But while I'm on the golf course, kind of keeping an eye on the phone, my son was keeping me updated as to what was going on with K-State and the Cyclones, and then got in and watched a little bit, flipped through and watched what was on at night. So it was good to be able to watch and good to keep up with it. And I'm glad we've started. I will be more happy this Saturday than last Saturday about the games I'm getting to take in, or this weekend as opposed to last weekend. But, definitely glad to get going.
Chris, as you start processing this Alabama FSU game mentally leading up to kickoff, if you're like the two of us, we start thinking about, or I guess just a college football fan, you start breaking down a game and thinking about it, all the different scenarios that you could see to try to prepare yourself for when you look at the coordinator on the other side, Gus Malzahn. You look at the Alabama defense, Alabama's offense versus a new coordinator on the other side coaching their defense, game flow. What are your expectations, or one of your expectations as you look at this game a couple days out?
Man, I think what I'm looking forward to seeing is Castellanos able to back up his talk, and is Alabama's defense truly going to make sure that all disrespect is dealt with? That's the conversation that the team has had, or that the team had during the off season. And, it's not a criticism of Castellanos. You do what, you think is best. And he thinks it's best to be pretty open and candid about his feelings about his team and about what they're going to face. And I think that he is definitely confident. And I think it's Alabama's responsibility to make sure that confidence was not well advised. So, or at least verbalizing it at the level he did. So we'll see. But I am very much excited about seeing Bama's speed at wideout, the depth in the secondary, and can they get enough of a pass rush and put enough pressure on him that what we know is in the back half is able to be as productive as we think they can be. Because it doesn't matter how good you are in the secondary. If quarterback's got all day to sit back there, you're not going to be real successful in pass coverage more than likely. So I'm excited to see what that front can do and let the secondary be as good as we know they're capable of.
Chris Stewart joins us, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, brought to you by Craneworks. Chris, I know this is not a sexy subject to many people that listen to the radio, but it is a very important facet of the game, and I'm talking about special teams. There have been reports during fall camp that Alabama, the competition has been healthy, but maybe just struggled a little bit, especially towards the mid part of fall camp. What can you tell us, or what have you heard in regards to the field goal kicking and the punting situation for Alabama?
No, I think it's a fair conversation and understandable that when you lose the veterans that you lose at both spots, that you're going to have, it's just quite understandable that you're going to have concerns. You're going to be a little worried about what it actually looks like. And I can't, I have seen them in camp. I have seen some struggles. I've seen some successes, but I think the part that we all are waiting to see is, how do you do when the lights are on? How do you handle real pressure in your face? How do you manage what is a very good environment, such as the one you're going to have in Tallahassee? And can the guys who have won the job handle it when the lights are on, or in this case, when the sun's hitting you in the face? And so too are the Seminoles. But I think the capability is there. That's not a concern. It's performing when things are at their best, or when it's the most pressure packed. And that's what we won't know until after the first week, and what we frankly need to see halfway through the season, where you've got a legit body of work to truly judge it. But you hope also, just being candid, that it doesn't come down to the kicking game early, because you don't want to test it by fire. You want them to have some low pressure kicks by and large before they get into game winners and having to have a punt, in the last 3-4 minutes of a game that can decide the outcome.
Chris Stewart, voice of the Crimson Tide, joining us on Three Man Front, presented by Craneworks on the Higginbotham Hotline. What excites you most, Chris, about offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb calling plays on Saturday, and what you think you might get with that in the tandem of he and quarterback Ty Simpson?
I think what he wants to run fits his quarterback, whoever it is, starting with Ty. But I think it also there's just a comfort level, as much as you can have in a game one for a first-time starter, and when I say new, I'm talking about new to this group of quarterbacks. I think they've gone through the learning curve, because what they were working on last year is what they're wanting to do this year. Now, in terms of game plan, game strategy, you had to build it around the strengths of Jalen Milroe. And that's what every coach is going to try to do when your best athlete, your best weapon on offense may not fit what you try to do. Your job as the coaches is to put them in the best position they can be to succeed. And there was no doubt that Jalen was the guy last year, but also Jalen's skill set, not necessarily the perfect fit for what Coach DeBoer likes to do offensively. So I think this year it's the better fit. I think it is a case where Ty is going to be comfortable with what he's running and being asked to do. And man, I think having Ryan Grubb back with it, I've always been careful, and I think I even did it last week. I think it's unfair for everybody to act like, Nick Sheridan was the issue last year. I don't think you pointed at one person. I think it's the circumstances that were involved. But there's no question that Ryan Grubb is the OC, with Nick Sheridan helping and working with the quarterbacks, combined with the extra year, or the year under their belt now of development and understanding of what's asked of the quarterback and their skill set fitting, it's going to provide a whole lot more productivity. Not to mention the fact you got depth and experience at wide receiver and as much talent as anybody has in the country. You got enough talent and not a ton of experience, but enough talent, even with Jam Miller out in the opener, that you've got an opportunity to be complementary in the run game and an offensive line that you hope is as good as we think they can be.
Chris, you've called a lot of Alabama-Auburn games, and a lot of those involved Gus Malzahn as the head coach at Auburn, who's now going to be the offensive coordinator for Florida State. How much do you anticipate that you're going to see some of those crazy things that Auburn's offense did on Saturday, this time wearing, obviously, the wonderful colors of Florida State University?
Well, my therapist says I'm not supposed to talk a lot about Coach Malzahn and his offense, but I'm going to go against the orders and simply say, obviously, he's one of the best minds in the game. He created issues for Nick Saban that no one else could, game in and game out. And I will say I'd far prefer catching him in game one with an offense and with a program than at the end of the year, because I think it's difficult for him to get everything in as opposed to what you're going to have. It's a limited amount of work and time that he's had with that offense. So they'll be dangerous. He'll pull every trick out. But at the same time, I don't know if their execution level is going to be, hopefully, I hope their execution level is not what he's accustomed to from his offenses, because he hasn't had as long to work with them.
Just aside from the game, the renovation there at Doak Campbell, they include new digs for you guys and where you're going to be broadcasting from?
I'm not sure. I think so, Landrum. I'm not 100% sure, though. And I think it is only appropriate that with the first game, and since we were able to work out a clothing deal with our sponsor on the network that included really nice looking Peter Millar shorts, that it's supposed to only be in the low to mid 80s. So instead of it being 1,000, since we're going to be prepared for it, it's going to be cooler than normal. So that's kind of my luck. The one time I actually prepare and think something through, then it goes the opposite way.
Right. Hopefully.
Did that answer your question? I have no clue what our setup is actually going to look like. I call games during COVID, and so I'm used to whatever they throw at us being what you have to go with, and you just deal with it from there. But they'll take care of us. They'll be good hosts. I've already heard from my old boss with the Crimson Tide Sports Network, and now the AD at FSU, Michael Alford. So looking forward to seeing him. I have a feeling he'll make sure we have the best setup we can have, just like they will for all visitors. But it'll be a fun weekend, and hopefully the result we want to.
Well, speaking of being taken care of, our friends at Craneworks bring us you every single week during the college football and basketball seasons, and they are just a mainstay. Whether it's in Tallahassee, Birmingham, the entire Southeast, Craneworks is certainly a brand and a name that you can trust.
They do, and they got a lot of divisions, and Wasteworks is one of them, which is perfect for me to tell you about since I just hit a garbage tee shot while I was talking to y'all.
Oh, man. Do another one. Did you buy mulligans for your team?
We did. I've used one, made good use of it with a birdie, but my partners, I think, have got us in the fairway. Wasteworks, if you need a mulligan on your cleanups, how about that terrible segue? Wasteworks provides a roll-off dumpster rentals in the Birmingham area. They got a range of sizes and fast service. They are your source for local dumpster rentals. Go to wasteworksusa.com for a quote.
Chris, enjoy the trip to Tallahassee. We will talk to you next week. It should be a fun weekend of Labor Day action around college football, including the big one down in Tallahassee. Enjoy your time. We'll talk to you next week.
Guys, always appreciate you and excited to visit with you each week.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Hit them straight. That is Chris Stewart joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, as you're tailgating this college football weekend or this college football season, how many times have you said, "Well, I'm just going to have one," and then you realize it's mid-afternoon, you got a long day of games left, and you're not feeling your best? Well, I got a great alternative to alcohol. It's our friends at Mystic Beverage, made right here in the great state of Alabama. Whatever vibe you're trying to achieve, if it's like me, very busy college football season, high school football season, I need that pick-me-up late in the day. The Lift Blend has got the green coffee bean extract. It gives me all I want and doesn't leave me feeling queasy. But not only that, if you want to chill out, kind of have that mellow vibe, you can go with the High Hills, you can go with the Nirvanic or the Broadway. Great alternatives to alcohol. And again, made right here in the state of Alabama. Go to mysticbeverage.com. Mysticbeverage.com for more information. Always tell them Landrum from Jox sent you.
We will get to your text messages, 205-834-9450 on the Courtesy GMC text line. If you would like to get a call or two in, we will welcome that as well. 1-800-239-WJOX. Always a great conversation with Chris Stewart, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, as Florida State takes on the Tide this weekend. Appreciate Crane Works, David Upton, the guys always do a great job in college football. They sponsor Wimp Sanderson. They, of course, sponsor Chris Stewart right here on the program each and every week. Artec Tractor in Jasper, you need to get by and see the guys. I'm talking about Jeremy and Greg right there just north of Jasper on Highway 5, artectractor.com. I am going to get my zero turn out very early on Saturday morning, probably going to upset the neighbors because I could get that lawn cut before the games kick off Saturday morning. But you can be on a zero turn just like I did when I called Jeremy and Greg at Artec Tractor. I got me a Toro zero turn, and that has been a life-changing experience for me. They also have Cub Cadet, Gravely, Bobcat, Spartan. How about if you need a tractor? If you got a bigger plot of land, bigger than what I have in the suburbs, you can go Mahindra or Bobcat. Everything from those large home acreage to these small homesteads to large farms and even the hunting plots. Knowledgeable sales department. They're going to advise you on every purchase. Expert service department with years of experience. They can work on all types of mowers and tractors. Go to their website. It's what I did. It's how I got the ball rolling on my purchase. artectractor.com. Give you an option on everything you're looking at. And then you can just call Jeremy and Greg or go by and see them. They'll say hello to you and just tell them that the Jox Crew sent you just north of Jasper on Highway 5. That's Artec Tractor.
Any big takeaways from you? What Chris Stewart, voice of the Tide, just told us?
Sounds like maybe the defense got a little attitude about Tommy Castellanos.
Yeah.
That's just my takeaway.
No, that was the cake topper for me, is making him remember that those words and what he had to say about he goes against the best defense in the country every single day in practice, reminding him that there are other defenses out there.
And that plays a little bit into why I feel pretty good about the game on Saturday. I think it was LT Overton who came out in the summer and basically, the couple players that have addressed it have all had the same message, which is, okay, that's great. We know what he said. We're going to handle it on the field, which is what you want to hear, and that's how it should be handled. So I think a lot of people very interested to see if Tommy Castellanos can obviously talk the talk, but can he walk the walk? We'll find out.
Yeah. Maybe one thing's for sure, that the Alabama folks can do their talking on the field and not have to worry with it.
I will say, you did hear a lot of the same stuff last year, and obviously that didn't pan out super well. So hopefully this year's goes a little better, because they were saying a lot of the right things last year as well in the offseason, and it fell apart. So
let's get to the text line, 205-834-9450, brought to you by Courtesy GMC and Trust. We'll go to courtesybirmingham.com, as we got plenty of you that's chiming in on a myriad of topics this morning.
Yeah, somebody asking, does Bama have any leadership on this team? Who would the leaders be?
Well, Ty Simpson,
would be one.
Deontay Lawson.
Yeah, they were named captains.
He was the signal caller on defense last year. No, Tim Keenan. I think maybe for some people it's just you have new faces that are maybe taking on leadership roles as opposed to...
I think Jam Miller would be one of those leaders, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, you don't have, I guess, a guy like Malachi last year, right, who had played all 5 years and everybody was very familiar with in that way.
Zach fires in. Go to hell, Alabama, 34-31. Go Noles. Thank you, Zach. Gavin asking, hey, Pat, do you think the Dogs, meaning Georgia, covered the 39.5 against Marshall? He goes on to add, history tells us no, but I think the most interesting thing for the game is if UGA can cover the minus 9.5 in the first quarter.
First quarter, 9.5? I say yes. But the game, maybe not.
This one coming in on the Alabama-Florida State game. 28-3 at the half is this listener's prediction. 42-17 final. There will be no doubt left. Leave no doubt. Rain forecast, apparel options, rain jacket, 70% chance of rain for the game. Is it a light rain? Is it going to be a steady rain?
It's a good question.
There's a difference in rain.
There is a difference in rain.
But I'll remind everyone, as every coach does, every single time this topic comes up during the season, when you get that weather game, that rain game, we practice with wet footballs.
Yeah.
Ty Simpson practices with a wet football.
Yeah, he was asked about that yesterday. He kind of touched on it.
Now, a wet football is different than Jalen Milroe in the Michigan game when the monsoon started. There's really no way to simulate that unless you go and practice in a car wash.
Well, he looked like he was in a car wash when the sun was shining sometimes. So
This is true.
If you're Ty Simpson, you're like going, do I really have to put up with another like rainstorm in the state of Florida playing a football game?
yeah, hopefully it doesn't go like that game did 2 years ago.
That reminds me of one of my favorite, Al Borges, that was the offensive coordinator at Auburn. He had so many great quotes, but one of my favorite quotes that I ever heard, and you would appreciate this because it was one of Trustful Zone. He was talking about his quarterback, Brandon Cox. And he said Brandon Cox, he was talking about all the things he could do with throws and how smart of a player he was. And he said, yeah, we choose not, I'm paraphrasing, not to have him run, but if he ran through a car wash, he would drown.
That's a great line.
That's a great quote.
So good.
Al was fantastic.
Yeah.
Al was 1 year. Again, think about this. Al Borges, like 1 year on the Feinbaum show, we had Al Borges was a weekly guest on the show. At Alabama, we had Ellis Johnson on the show. That's when Ellis was the defensive coordinator for Alabama. We used to have Charlie Stubbs on, the offensive coordinator at Alabama. Like all these coordinators, and we didn't have to pay them anything.
No.
It was like they wanted to come on and talk ball. It was great. And Al was great. Borges was fantastic.
Yeah, we would have on from Alabama. We had Chris Thurman. You remember him?
Yep.
On that staff. He was great to get to know. Greg Knox at Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those coaches, they just say, hey, call me. Call me. Here's my cell. Call me whenever you want to do it. Now it's a lot different.
One of my favorite was Joe Panunzio. Joe came over from Ole Miss with Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah.
And Joe would do stuff with us on the show. And then Joe ended up towards the back end of his college career because he had, he spent some time in the NFL with the Philadelphia Eagles, but he came back and he worked at Alabama with Nick Saban. Like in the mid, from 13, 14, 15, something like that. Yeah, Joe Panunzio, who was with Tuberville there at Auburn, and then he ended up working with Nick Saban.
Man, these coaching circles and cliques and the networking, they all run together.
That's why you never burn a bridge, because you never know when you're going to have to go back over it.
That's exactly right. Joseph responding to Zach, the go to hell Alabama tweet or text, and he says, Zach, you're an idiot. RTR for life, ! That's the football fans I know. Did I miss Brian Edwards? Dang. If you can, tell us his picks, please.
All right, hold on, and we'll all right, so first off, he likes the over in UNLV and Sam Houston. He got it at 60.5 on Monday. It's around 62.5 now. He likes it up to 63. That was one of them. He also likes South Carolina -7, potentially buying a half a point in their game. And then he likes Indiana -13.5 in the first half against Old Dominion. He also told us that he is not touching either the Auburn or the Alabama game. So that's, in a nutshell, what he likes.
Jason asks, what's the over-under on pieces of gum that Gus goes through on Saturday? I don't know. Is he superstitious about his gum? If he's got things working, offense is clicking?
I always like the clipboard and the way that he'd always pull his pants up.
He always pulls his pants up.
Yeah, pulls his pants up.
We're going over here. NASCAR. Wash bunch of bull crap. 3 bold prediction for the weekend from Nick. Jackson Arnold throws for 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions.
Wow.
Ryan Williams has 3 touchdown receptions and over 150 yards receiving. Brian Kelly and LSU remains winless in opening games. Nick from North Birmingham. Thank you, Nick.
And those are not outlandish, bold, crazy predictions.
CJ says nobody's worried about the he didn't say Seminoles. He replaced it with something else. Yeah.
Conrad uses that language in the office a lot.
He doesn't need to.
Yeah, my mom doesn't appreciate it. But
Well, neither do the indigenous people of this country.
Stop.
Didn't think he was going there. I thought he was going to say something about Molly.
Well, it was funny at first, but now I don't need people thinking that I talk like that because I don't.
I know you don't. He really doesn't, people. That was Pat.
Yeah,
Pull you in on something.
That's right.
Bobby says LSU Clemson is going to be the game of the year. Give me 38-35 OT win for the Bayou Bengals, and they establish where the real Death Valley resides. Great text, Bobby.
I would love a game like that. I hope that's a fantastic game. It should be.
Let's raise bail money and get Roll Tide Willie to hijack the horse before the game. Renegade. Something tells me that Roll Tide Willie has ridden a horse before. The question I would have is how long could Roll Tide Willie stay on the horse?
My question is, what happened to Roll Tide Willie? I mean, he's still out there, but it's just, I mean, he was everywhere.
House settlement, man.
And now it's gone.
Revenue.
And he got Ryan Williams to Tuscaloosa and said, I'm done.
Yep.
He did his job.
That's a pretty big one.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Man, Zach, you throw that out there, that text, you're going to get text back. Let Conrad read that one. I think Alabama wins, but this is not going to be the blowout everyone expects because of adjustments needed to be made on both sides of the ball. Weather conditions could be an issue too, says Robert. Thank you, Robert. Y'all Alabama fans just fail to realize y'all have claimed more than any other team in the nation.
Are you talking about the text from Ken?
Maybe so.
That was a great way to phrase that, though.
It is.
I'm not going to read it, but...
I've used that word as a substitute before.
Yeah, it's great.
Which is great, unless it's your first name.
Correct.
Jamie Paw Bailey, straight out of Alex City. Bama 35, FSU 20, Auburn 27, Baylor 31.
What he said, Baylor's going to win 31-27?
He did. No chance RTR Willie would be sober enough to ride that horse.
That's probably a safe bet.
Is he a drinker? Couldn't tell.
Really?
Based on his TikToks.
That's surprising to you?
What about Southern Miss versus Mississippi State? What do y'all think? I like Southern Miss over their season win total projected by Vegas. I like Mississippi State to win the game. What's the line? Is it a single number?
I am in the process of looking, my friend. It is Mississippi State minus 13. 61 is the point.
Charles
total.
Huff brought half of Marshall with him. I'm going to go Southern Miss plus the points. That's just my gut.
Playing in Hattiesburg.
At the Rock.
This is kind of random, but speaking of bad SEC teams, we talked about this yesterday. Are you going to load up on Toledo versus Kentucky? It's only 9.5. We know you love some action.
I do love some action.
It's a good program.
And especially with Zach Calzada as your starting quarterback for the Kentucky Wildcats.
I think that's an interesting one.
The only thing, and I know that one season doesn't dictate the results of another, but man, I have taken that early season MAC plus the points against Kentucky before, and I've gotten burned. But those were better projected Kentucky teams heading into the season than this one. That's tempting. Toledo plus the 9.5. Jason Candle and his Rockets.
It's amazing that he is still there.
Yeah.
I mean, I really am.
Like that he hasn't taken another job somewhere?
Yeah. His name was a lot like the Matt Campbell at Iowa State name for every potential coaching job. If they had to include a group of 5 coach, his name was at the top of every list. Like, don't forget about this.
Is Jeff Traylor still at UTSA?
Yeah.
I feel like he's one of those guys too. His name always comes up and you're like, man, you're still there.
I and all Auburn fans would rather start 1-0 with a win at Baylor than beat Bama.
Ooh, that would be a good poll question for Auburn fans. Would you rather beat Baylor or beat Alabama at the end of the year and lose to Baylor? That's interesting.
Ask Kalen DeBoer what time it is. You get a roundhouse kick to the face, RTR.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Does he like to kick people?
Is he into karate?
It's Urban Meyer, not Kalen DeBoer.
Is he into the martial arts?
Maybe so.
All right, continue to send the text. We got to eat. Bevy of texts that we'll get to. We'll try to clean up here on this Wednesday as we continue. David Smoke from out in Waco. We're going to talk Auburn Baylor, that particular matchup we're going to get on Friday. 3-man front, Jox.
All right, so the SEC coaches teleconference is going on as we speak. A couple of headlines coming out of Kalen DeBoer just a few moments ago. And it could be one to pay very close attention to. Tim Keenan, who almost broke mine and Landrum's hands at SEC Media Days. According to Kalen DeBoer, he is not going to be a full go this weekend against the Florida State Seminoles. Defensive lineman, apparently, this is from sources that I have communicated with in Tuscaloosa, that he had a lower body injury at practice. He is going to be okay. It's not a season-ending type situation, but he was banged up enough to where, as Kalen DeBoer put it, he will be not a full go on Saturday. Also, Kalen DeBoer says that Jaden Roberts, the offensive lineman, he has been practicing, very limited, and is making progress, but a lot of the same and nothing more than that really on the update. So
Season's over. Wrap it up.
Well, I'm looking at the point spread to see if there's been any movement whatsoever on this Tim Keenan announcement, or at least in the poly markets. Because I know you're big in the poly markets too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And it's still 13.5.
Jeremiah Beeman, you're our lucky winner of needing to step up and contribute on Saturday in Tallahassee.
Listen to you quoting the depth chart.
It'll be fine.
Molly doesn't believe you. Molly was watching you intently as I was telling you during the commercial break what was going on, and she thinks you were...
Yeah, I watched you wipe away those tears.
Oh, I was disgusted by something else.
Oh, it wasn't Tim Keenan's injury.
No,
It was something else.
It was something else.
Will it be in the worst thing I've seen later?
No, but we are going to have a very interesting one later.
Did you like that one?
I did. I'd seen a little snippet of that last night. I didn't read it until this morning.
I'm glad to know that because most of the time you like the dirty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so this one's...
No, it's not dirty. It's just...
No, it's bad, but it's not disgusting.
No, it's entertaining, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more intriguing than disgusting.
Yeah. But...
Watch out for scammers, people.
Yeah.
You never know.
Not good. So Open Doors, that is the company, the NIL, that you can go and you can look at statistical data of these NIL deals with athletes. They put out a graph a little bit earlier this morning. It's pretty interesting how they have a revenue share budget allocation by position group in each conference based on the NIL. And it's interesting that the Big 12 allocates more money percentage-wise to the quarterbacks than the SEC, Big 10, or the ACC. Pretty interesting. 23.1% of the NIL budgets in the Big 12 go to a quarterback, where only 15.1% in the SEC. Very interesting. Now, keep in mind, not all conferences slice their pie the same way, so to speak, but seeing the Big 12 paying more of a percentage on their quarterbacks than the Big 10 or the SEC. Matter of fact, the Big 10 was dead last of the four Power 4 conferences, spending 14.4% on a quarterback.
The Big 10 was?
Yes,
okay.
The Big 10 was.
So the Big 10 is spending less on quarterbacks.
Yep. The SEC was third lowest of the Power 4. The ACC was second highest at 19.4%. And the Big 12 at 23.1%. So I'm just looking down the list to see where the SEC, and I'm a defensive lineman. They're right in line. They pay 15.5%, just like the ACC does. That's higher than the Big 12 and the Big 10. The SEC pays more than any other Power 4 for linebackers. So that's a premium in the SEC. Very interesting. And the SEC also pays the less when it comes to specialists.
Oh.
So they're not going to pay for your punter or the kicker.
That was Nick Saban's philosophy at one time, right?
I mean, unless you're...
I bet the Big Ten pays the most.
Oh, I guess that was pre-NIL, but...
You're absolutely right. They do. The Big Ten pays 2.4% of their NIL budget to a specialist. The SEC, not even 1%, Landrum. 0.9%.
Wow. The only thing that makes sense about the ACC, you feel like with the overall strength of the league or the lack thereof, I mean, you spend on a quarterback, heck, you might be in the conference championship game.
Yeah. We were just telling you about the news coming out of the SEC teleconference in regards to Tim Keenan, who apparently was injured yesterday at practice. This is what Kalen DeBoer said moments ago on the SEC teleconference.
Yet to be determined. Probably not, but we'll see.
And that was when he was asked if Tim Keenan would be able to play on Saturday or if he'd be 100% on Saturday. And so there you go. Not really. Probably not.
Okay. And this is Kalen DeBoer's explanation of what happened to Tim Keenan.
Yeah, he had a lower body injury. and a lot of it's always kind of figured out, after practice. And honestly, gathered information still in the moment I'm in right now. Is trying to understand exactly where it's at. So our staff is unbelievable. They have done some pretty impressive things on getting guys back, and so waiting for the update on that. I don't know if I can even give you a percentage and be confident on that. So we'll see, but it is a lower body injury.
So Tim Keenan injured yesterday at practice, lower body injury. Now he will not be a full go coming up Saturday in Tallahassee. We will keep you posted on that. Anything else that is coming out of the SEC teleconference? This is Three Man Front on Jox. So the breaking news over the course of the last few minutes, Kalen DeBoer on the SEC teleconference says that Tim Keenan will not be a full go. He was injured at practice yesterday, lower body injury. So we'll wait to see if indeed he plays any coming up on Saturday against Florida State.
Well, if you are an Auburn Tigers fan, we have an incredible opportunity for you right here on Jox. And thanks to Jox 94.5 and Total Sports Travel, we're giving away a chance to see Auburn take on Oklahoma live in Norman this season. One lucky winner can score a trip for two. That includes round-trip airfare, a two-night stay at the National Hotel in Oklahoma City, 2 tickets to watch Auburn in Oklahoma, and transportation to and from the stadium. That is an all-inclusive package there. So text the keyword Tigers, again, Tigers, to 205-834-9450 to enter now. Don't miss your shot at the ultimate game day experience, courtesy of Total Sports Travel in your home for college football right here on Jox 94.5. Contest rules are available at joxfm.com. And one more time, if you want to enter, text the keyword Tigers to 205-834-9450.
Good opportunity to go to Norman, Oklahoma. And hopefully Auburn fans will have a better trip than Conrad did last year.
Correct. That is what it's a lovely place. Hope the game is more enjoyable than it was for me last year.
Do you have really good seats?
I was close enough to where if things had gotten any worse, I could have jumped out of the back of the stadium. So,
What a horrible thought.
Wow.
well, crossed my mind.
With no bungee cord?
After the second interception after halftime, I wasn't looking for a bungee cord.
Find a sharp piece of wrought iron from one of the gates
Exactly.
to impale yourself on?
Yeah, but pretty much.
Man.
That's tough.
Pretty much.
Well, at least you had the how many hour ride to look forward to?
Yeah, the
going
great
home?
part was we only had to wake up and take a 10-hour drive home.
Oh, gosh.
That sounds miserable. Molly, you showed me something a couple minutes ago in regards to our favorite coach in the ACC, that being Bill Belichick. Apparently his team of marketeers, they're busy at it again.
Oh, yes. So a new trademark has been filed from Bill Belichick and Jordan.
Are they getting married?
No, I wish, though. But the term?
Wait. Can we guess?
Sure, go for it.
Oh. Sugar daddy.
That's a good one.
That's a really good guess.
Sugar baby.
That's also a really good guess.
Oh, man.
Good guess.
Jailbait.
Not quite.
Honey.
That's cute, but
Length
no.
and girth.
No, it's
that's
Hugh
Hugh's thing.
Freeze. Hugh Freeze.
Well, I
has
thought
got
he was
that
going to steal
trademark.
it.
Well, the trademark that they just filed was for Gold Digger,
Oh, that's good.
with the intention of using it to produce a line of jewelry and keychains.
Well, I'm glad she's keeping busy there in Chapel Hill.
Whoa. Jewelry. We talking anklets, toe rings?
I guess so. We'll have to wait and see.
Septum piercings?
No, I'm just seeing who the competition is. I still got the website.
Gold Digger is one of the many trademarks filed made by Belichick and Hudson this year, including, we know, Chapel Bill, the Bellustrator, the Trail of Salty Tears, No Days Off, and the Belichick Way.
Trail of Salty Tears, that's a wild thing to... I'm sorry,
That's pretty insane.
That's... Even for me, that's like a little... crossing the line a little bit, maybe.
I agree.
Has her mom's store / museum, has that opened a location in Chapel Hill yet?
Oh, I don't know.
I do like to think that they'll have
Good
the
news,
jewelry
Chapel
on
Hill.
display next to the cash register.
Yeah.
You know, you got one of those. Ooh, don't forget your anklet.
Yep.
Or your toe ring.
Or your toe ring.
Yeah, they sell rings there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Might not be for the toe.
No.
No.
For the kayak.
Is that the new code word for that?
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Did you see that where he went on? He was having some fun on social media, Mr. Hudson, yesterday, and he posted the
I
the
saw
media
it.
guide pronunciation. Gotta love somebody that
He's a very colorful individual.
I would think so,
I
yeah.
watched when I was trying to confirm that we were going to have to say his name correctly. And that's how it was pronounced. No, he's a really, really sharp guy. Talking about Auburn's punter, if you're just joining us, that transferred from Oklahoma State, originally from Australia, where he attended Seymour College. And don't do the deep dive that we did yesterday, because you will find that that is an all-girls college now.
We just had a text come in on the text line that we can't read on the air about a particular
We've got a lot of those today, by the way.
particular piece of jewelry that Bill Belichick might want. So if you look at that and you know what it is, when I was in 9th grade, I did not know what that was. And somebody told me I should go look it up on one of our school computers. And I Googled that term thinking I was looking up
A cigar.
royalty. And it was not that. And I'm in the middle of a classroom.
No. That would be something.
It was quite embarrassing. Yeah. But thank you for the great text, Brandon.
I've done that on this show.
The more you know.
Yep. Careful with your keyword searches, kids. Especially if you're sitting in a classroom. David Smoke talking Waco. That's the site of Auburn and Baylor coming up on Friday night. The ins, the outs, what David Smoke expects. He's going to join us as we continue the Wednesday edition, the hump day, if you will. 3-man front right here on your home for college football and more. Jox.
We're at the midway point. We're going to go to Waco, Texas momentarily. We will get an update on what's going on with the Baylor Bears as they get ready to take on and host the Auburn Tigers coming up Friday night from the beautiful city of Waco.
How about a little happy hour, a little acoustic music coming up this afternoon? Coming up tomorrow, we got college football. We got college football on Friday throughout the weekend. And the Finnick, there's no better place in town to enjoy sports and music than the Finnick. It's your front row seat to the best entertainment, massive screens, explosive sound from every seat in the house. They got a new restaurant menu, certainly worth cheering for, whether it's the wings, whether it's the wood-fire grilled burgers. They got fork and knife stuff that you're going to dive for as well. The Finnick's new 6-day schedule, it includes live acoustic acts Wednesday, that's today, through Friday from 5:30 until 8, and then that's followed by live bands at 10 o'clock on Fridays. Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, all dedicated to sports. That means football. No live music to get in the way. We can't wait to see you at the Finnick. Join us this football season, 1630 2nd Avenue South near Railroad Park.
Well, let's go to Waco, Texas. That will be the site of the Auburn Tigers making the trip out west to take on the Baylor Bears. David Smoke joins us now, outstanding host of 365 Sports. I'm honored anytime he gives me a text or a call and asks me to come on their show, talk SEC football. So now we're going to talk a little Big 12 and what the Auburn fans should expect. David, I hope you're doing well, and the summer's been a good one for you.
Yeah, it has been. It's interesting, guys. It seemed like I was like, man, the season's around the corner. I had 5 weeks left, and then but it's here. Oh no, it's here. This is the week that you feel like your hair's on fire, and that's a good reason. That means football, the first full weekend of the season, plus all the stuff that goes on in this state with high school football, like it is where you are too.
Well, listen, a lot of Auburn fans are fired up about making the trip out to Waco. You've been around that program for some time. Just talk us about the excitement level of this game in particular, a Southeastern Conference team coming to the great state of Texas playing Baylor.
It is, in my opinion, I've been in the area now since 2010. It is, in my opinion, without question, the biggest non-conference game inside McLean Stadium. And then, of course, even before that, for a pretty good stint inside of what was Floyd Casey. Grant Taft, who was is the legendary coach, they would play a lot of great teams at home. They did, and Baylor did. They would play big boys. But when Art Briles took over the program in 2008, their non-conference schedule was not very good. Well, they were not very good. So honestly, what they did, and it was pretty obvious, that they said, okay, we need to schedule 3 or 4, depending on the schedule, gimmies. And not all of them were gimmies, by the way, for them when he took over. So if you'll recall, back when they started to make a run, RG3 won the Heisman at 11. Then they were in the college football playoff mix, really in 14, and then even 15, 16, everything kind of fell apart. They were always pretty darn good. They would beat Oklahoma occasionally, or they were beating Texas or Oklahoma State, etc. But their non-conference game held them back. And it held them back with the national, either the media, and it should have. It wasn't good. But their reasoning was they had not been to a bowl game in a decade and a half. And so they had to find a way to get the 6 wins. That was they were terrible. So get the 6 wins. And then Briles' teams got better. And so they had to play, and they did play, and it was a purpose, a bad non-conference schedule to get 3 wins, then try to get the 6, then become a bowl team, break the drought. Eventually they did, and we know that they've had, 21 team was really good. But, yeah, they increased, and they absolutely ramped up their non-conference schedule. This year might be one of the 2 best games. They have Auburn home, and then an hour and a half from here they play SMU as a college football playoff team last year. They had BYU and Utah scheduled. They have Utah future schedule. They have Oregon as a future non-conference game, among others. But yeah, they moved it up. And about the time they did with BYU and Utah, next thing you know, they're a part of the conference. So those are no longer non-conference games. This is the biggest non-conference game they've had in Waco. I can say at least 15 or 20 years, and surely inside McLean Stadium.
David, as we look at this particular matchup, we're going to get there inside of McLean Stadium on Friday night between Baylor and Auburn. From the Baylor perspective, what are the biggest concerns and or unknowns for this Baylor team against Auburn and what you expect?
Well, it's got to be when they played LSU in the bowl game in Houston. It was a great game, very competitive game, and it kind of turned a little bit. Doesn't mean LSU was not going to still score a bunch of points and Nussmeier putting up big yards and points, but the game turned when Bryson Washington, their star running back, who had over 1,000 yards and didn't even start the year as a starter, when he went out. And that doesn't mean Baylor still didn't move the ball, but it did kind of change things a little bit. The deal, Aranda's second year running the defense, not that he didn't have his fingerprint on it for a little bit, but running the defense. They stayed away from the transfer portal when they shouldn't have after that really good team that beat Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl in 2021. They have multiple transfers all over the defense, and wide receiver too. The defensive is the secondary. It's the secondary. I think they have some people, even though Auburn's got that huge and experienced offensive line, I think they have some ways to maybe, or at least they hope to put pressure on Jackson Arnold and either force a bad decision or maybe get some negative plays. But the whole thing is, can that secondary hold up, because they didn't against LSU? They're a year older. Sometimes that's great, and then again, okay, but were they good enough even a year older? So to me, that is the big test. They have Taz Williams is not going to play this first game, but I don't know. They've got the freshman All-American a couple years ago in Caden Jenkins. He kind of was there last year. Wasn't a lot of big plays. Can they hold up if Auburn has time, which, they hope they do. Auburn does. Jackson Arnold, the Cam Coleman, the great receivers. Can they hold up enough to not get gashed in the secondary with Hugh Freeze wanting to throw the ball deep?
David Smoke joins us on 365 Sports from Waco. Joins us as we preview the Baylor game against the wonderful Auburn Tigers. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Dave Aranda. You were on this program about a year ago, and we straight up asked about the pressure that was mounting on Dave Aranda, and you were very frank in which you thought he had to get to a certain number, and he did. Has that calmed down, David, in regards to Dave Aranda and what's expected this year for this team?
Oh, yeah. But you know what that's like. That's like it's like a thermometer. It's hot in the summer and it's cold in the winter. And the coaching staff always seem like they're on the hot seat. There's only a few that aren't. Yeah, they had the thing about this, and Baylor's had some teams that won the Southwest Conference or won the Big 12, but that 2021 team was dynamic. That team was really good at 12-2. And had guys who are now on their second contracts in the NFL, and Jalen Petrie and Terrell Bernard and others. But that next year they had a pretty good start, then they just blew a tire, lost in a bowl game to Air Force. Okay, but then 2023 was an absolute disaster. Lost their first game to Texas State, 3-9. They weren't very good. They didn't look very good. Aranda probably won so quickly that everyone said, okay, and no, there's no question. And remember, they were 2-4, Pat, and they were 2-4, and then went to Lubbock and beat Texas Tech. They've done that a couple of times now in Lubbock, the last 2 times they've been there, and turned everything around. It also started when Sawyer Robertson took over at quarterback, and DeQuan Finn, the transfer, ended up, I don't know, he had an injury, or eventually that was just a matter of time. And that gave them some explosiveness on offense. They were able to start making plays. And, yeah, no, there's no hot seat. Now, they're playing 2 really good teams right off the top. Imagine if you go 2-0. Then all of a sudden you're in the discussion. You jump into the top 25, and we'll see what happens. Arizona State about 3 or 4 weekends from now, defending Big 12 champions who had Texas on the ropes. But as far as a hot seat, I have not heard anything about that. But fans are fickle. We know that. But I have not heard. He is locked in. He did a great job in the portal, he thinks, based on what we see now. And then the recruiting has picked up a tick or 2 as well. I think he's really in a good position. I have not heard anything about him like he better win early. Nothing like that.
How does a guy like Kobe Prentice transfer a wide receiver from Alabama? How does he figure in your eyes in this offense?
Well, they have a fantastic receiver. He's kind of a possession receiver. He's a punt returner, All-American, and Josh Cameron, who was a former walk-on. That's one of the best stories in college football, who is like Sawyer's guy, along with Michael Trigg, the former Mississippi tight end, who's an alpha, a really good player. But they've added Prince, they added Brown, they also, oh my God, I just went blank on Wilson. Wilson. So they've added like age and experience and guys that can get it done, guys that are good. And then the other thing is they had Ashton Hawkins, who came up from Texas State, who played for them last year, who made some really like some of the highlight tape type plays. He was eligible coming into the spring semester, and then the NCAA changed their mind. And he basically, for weeks upon weeks upon weeks, did not know. Baylor always kind of felt in the end that he would be back, but he wasn't. And then all of a sudden, what was it, like right as camp was starting, he was cleared again. Because you never know what the NCAA is going to do. You really don't. So their depth at wide receiver, there was a little bit of a concern there. They also have a couple of guys that it's time for them to grow up and be football players. And Jaden Porter, a local kid from just south of Waco. But I think Prentice, they got guys from Alabama, they got guys from Oregon, they got players that were at Ole Miss, they got players that have been at big schools, and that's kind of the way it is now in college football. And I do think that they will look for Prentice to help open things up, spread the field a little bit, and I think he'll be very heavily involved.
David, you just mentioned Arizona State a couple of minutes ago. That was the surprise team that ended up winning the Big 12 Conference, depending on what magazine and prediction service that you subscribe to. Arizona State, Texas Tech, Baylor, Utah, all of those teams in the mix potentially to vie for a Big 12 championship. In your eyes, are those the teams that are going to be vying for that championship as we get to the end of the season from the Big 12?
It is the craziest thing, guys. I know when I do this, sometimes people roll their eyes. In 2021, Baylor was not anywhere near the top of the preseason poll, and they won it. They beat Oklahoma State in that dramatic game. In 2020, 2023, TCU was not picked anywhere near the top. They're in the championship game. I know Georgia destroyed them, but they had the big one against Michigan. They won a lot of close games, like 4, 5 or 6 one-score games. Bang, bang plays at the buzzer, too. And then same thing with Arizona State. They were picked dead last. And I have a vote. The Big 12 this year said, we're not going to do a media poll. I was relieved. And it's not because I don't mind being wrong, because I do that a lot. But it's almost impossible. One of the things with this conference is, Arizona State, BYU last year picked deep into the poll. They were right in the middle of it. We saw what Iowa State, Kansas State, like mirror images of each other. Texas Tech, with all they've added to their roster with a portal, and also with what they've been able to do as far as they have Baron Morton, who gets overlooked all the time at quarterback in a conference that has like 9 guys who all are pretty seasoned. I'm not trying to dodge the question. I think it's hard. They need someone to become kind of an alpha. When they lost Texas and OU, Texas hadn't really done much. They had been through about a decade of like the wilderness. A team or two that made a run and played, for the Big 12 championship and eventually won it the last year was Sark. But they don't have a dog. They don't have a logo. They don't have a blue blood. And so with that, is anyone capable, and you don't get to be a blue blood because of what Arizona State did one year, but who can maybe establish a 3 to 5 year run where they're in the mix, or they're in the playoff, or they're winning the title? Because Oklahoma did a lot, and then Texas, of course, had the run with Mac Brown. But a lot of other teams started winning. K-State, of course, with Snyder, but again, Oklahoma State with Gundy. Who are they? We don't know. And then Baylor has won multiple Big 12 titles. I honestly think this, and this is not dodging your question. When you look at the SEC, you don't know. Maybe is LSU going to step up, and is that Is it their time again? Is Florida on their way back with Lagway? But you still can always rely on what Georgia, Alabama, and I know that Auburn obviously has had their great history too, or Texas. You know what they're going to be. Is A&M going to flirt again? Are they real? But you have some logos. You have alphas. You have blue bloods, some of those that I mentioned. And the Big 12, it's hard to okay, we know. There was many years, if Oklahoma wasn't picked to win it, then Texas, all of a sudden, was slotted number 2. And that's just lazy, because they weren't really competing that often after they had that team that played Alabama for the national championship. I think a lot of people are, okay, we have to put Texas. It's like we have to put Texas, like many preseason polls, the AP, well, Texas is 25. We can't have a poll without them in it. For the longest time, let's be honest, they didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
They hadn't earned that. Now, of course, they're big time with what they've done. I think there's a group of 6 or 7 teams that's not dodging your question that can win the Big 12 conference, because it's just the way the schedule is, and it's also just so many teams that are very, very similar when you look at who and how they're built.
That is David Smoke, 365 Sports out in Waco. I know a lot of Auburn people, a lot of orange is going to be seen in your town coming up in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
And I know they're looking forward to coming out and being on the Brazos.
Let me tell you, if you don't mind, I know you guys got to go. So I had kind of known this about a month ago, that RG3 was going to make his Fox Sports debut in the Auburn game. So I swore on Sunday, I put this innocuous tweet out about that Fox Sports, the game, this is RG3's debut. Interesting timing, because Baylor and Auburn. I've broken news. I've had some huge news over my time since Twitter, and I cannot. The amount of landslide anger from Auburn fans about RG3 and the broad, it's like, I was like, yep, this is the SEC, baby. It just means more. And RG3 sometimes, probably when he does games, he's like Cole Kublik is an Auburn guy. He's a great broadcaster.
Yeah.
You would never know. We know he's a great Auburn man, but he's a great sideline reporter, analyst. And it's funny but I had to bring that up. I was like, my God, I may have gained 10,000 people watching me just because of that tweet with Auburn fans. It was great.
Oh, well, listen, they are passionate. That's why, hey, David, that's why we have been in Birmingham and talking Alabama and Auburn football every day. We are at the epicenter of that. So it is.
You are. It is. I think it's the best college sports town in America. Yeah. I think I know there's others, but I think it's got to be where it's like right through the heart and spine of college football, no question.
Well, listen, David, I know folks are going to have a great time in Waco. Should be a great game, a very competitive game, and I hope you'll come back. It's always great to catch up, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, Pat, and I'll be in touch with you too, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much. That is David Smoke, one of the best in the business. Covers the Big 12, been doing it for a long time there in Waco, Texas. 365 Sports, the go-to show if you want to hear what's going on in the world of college football. And he joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. We do have a little news about the Baylor-Auburn game. Landrum will tell you next what's going on with Eric Singleton Jr. That's next on Three Man Front. If you missed any of our interviews this morning, you need to go back and download the 3-Man Front podcast. Hopefully, you already have the Jox 94.5 app on your phone. So no matter where you go during this football season, whether you're heading off to a family event over a weekend, you got a long weekend heading out for the Labor Day, and you want to listen to some of these interviews, we had Brian Edwards giving you some winners from Vegas Insider. Chris Stewart, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, previewed the FSU game coming up. We just had David Smoke on, number one talk show host in Waco, in that part of the world, just south of Dallas, and his show 365 Sports. They talk college football all the time. Obviously, being in Waco, they talk a lot of Big 12. You just heard his thoughts on the game, saying it's the biggest game in the history of McLean Stadium, and that says a lot. And Landrum, as we were doing the interview, Hugh Freeze was speaking on the SEC teleconference, and we do have a little news.
Yeah, he was asked about transfer wide receiver Eric Singleton Jr., his availability. Quoting Hugh Freeze, he said, he's going to play. He's not 100%, but getting better every day. Hopefully with more treatment today and tomorrow and all through the day Friday, he'll be close to being full speed. He's not quite there yet, but definitely is healthy enough to try to play.
Does that surprise you?
No, not necessarily. I mean, just given the way it was described to us, the injury, that it's not something that's, I mean, it's aggravating to try to play through. It can limit your mobility, I would think, at times. But I think that if they thought that they were putting him in jeopardy for the next 11 games of the regular season, he would not be out there. So,
if you are opening up against an FCS opponent instead of Baylor, do you think he plays still?
Probably not.
Yeah.
No.
I think that definitely plays a part of.
And if he's playing, he's got at least enough mobility in your eyes. We're not talking about Kerryon Johnson in the 2017 SEC championship game running on one leg. And you have other options. And it's somebody else that they're going to have to pay attention to. So why not?
I was about to say, I think a lot of it, too, is you throw him out there and it maybe gives the illusion that he's healthier than he actually is, and it opens up Cam Coleman and some of those other guys.
So we've had, it always happens this way. So we literally were having this conversation right before the show about Wednesdays in these SEC teleconferences. Typically, you don't get any news out of the SEC teleconferences. Mainly, it's typically a beat writer somewhere that is doing a feature, and they end up asking all 16 coaches the exact same question. Like if they're doing a feature on, your hometown high school football team, they'll ask the same question 16 times because they're doing a feature on it. There's not a lot of breaking news that typically happens on a Wednesday. And then all of a sudden we look up, you've got Kalen DeBoer saying that Tim Keenan suffered a lower body injury and it's yet to be determined, but he probably won't play, but they're going to have to see. Sounds like to me that Keenan won't be available to play, probably won't push him. And then meanwhile, you just heard Landrum talking about what Hugh Freeze said just moments ago. So a little bit of injury news coming out of the press conference that we actually said we don't really get much news out of. So I welcome it every Wednesday.
I'm all about it. If we're going to get fresh news and get updated heading into games. Now, neither one of those projections, whether Tim Keenan doesn't play, doesn't affect, in my mind, my view of that game. It certainly would help, and you'd love to see Tim Keenan out there, but if he's not available versus Florida State, doesn't change my prediction of an Alabama win. Just like Eric Singleton being limited. If that was the only guy, now there's been wide receiver rooms at Auburn. We don't have to look back very far. You can say that's a problem. I don't think with this particular Auburn team, that wide receiver room, that's an issue.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%.
You'd love to have him, but maybe not one that gets you beat if he's not at 100%.
So I know we were all fired up for week 0. Were you guys, when it was announced that Kansas State and Iowa State was going to play, were you excited about the matchup or just excited about the fact that it was the very first game of the season? Or both?
It was the matchup. Both. To be honest, both. But that matchup sounded a lot more appealing than some of the other matchups that we had seen. Where it was like, well, it's first game of the season, but okay, well, it's first game of the season. That one actually intrigued me a little bit.
I think at least on paper, Florida State was interesting last year. I don't think any of us expected Georgia Tech to be what they ultimately became last year. But going back before that with like Nebraska Northwestern, I think I was probably more intrigued by this one than the last couple of years just because it was a top 25 matchup and that brings its own kind of allure to it. That helps.
Yeah. How
That's
about you?
both for me. I mean, it's Farmageddon in Ireland.
I saw something yesterday. So does the Big 12 or maybe it's those schools,
It's the schools.
they don't like calling it that?
It's the schools. I think the Big 12 likes it though.
Yeah.
Why did-
Anything to market. Heck yeah.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
did that do you know why the schools don't like it? It's a great name for a rivalry.
It is. It's not one that I think prior to this season I really paid a whole lot of attention to, the name Farmageddon.
Yeah, it's a great name.
Well, the reason I brought it up is because the ratings came out and it was a 20% drop.
Oh.
People were not watching,
Wow.
which surprised me.
That's surprising, yeah.
Right at 5 million people watched Georgia Tech and Florida State last year. This year, it was down a little over 1 million. So 3.97 million people tuned into the game, which was a 20% drop, which will not make the television executives very happy. Not sure if it was because of it just wasn't a sexy matchup. I mean, the year before, I mean, you can say whatever you want to about Florida State. Florida State is always either number 1 or number 2 in television eyeballs in the ACC. I mean, that's a big time program, even when you're playing Georgia Tech.
And not saying you didn't get this year, but Florida State, that name is going to garner more SEC eyeballs.
Yes, very much so.
Along with Georgia Tech.
Than two middle of the country teams.
Yes.
That's just not going to rev the engine of many SEC fans. But I was surprised because it was the very first game.
20% is pretty steep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't think Kansas State and Iowa State will be invited back to Dublin, especially after the let's fight our siblings in the puddle in the parking lot in Dublin. That was not a very good look for Brett Yormark.
Does that make a montage at the end of the season?
I hope so.
The season that was?
Yes. Coming up next, Trey Wallace, Outkick, National College Football writer. He will join us, give us his thoughts on Week 0 and what he's looking forward to here in Week 1. It is 12:34. Welcome back in. It's three-man front. Pat Landrum, Conrad, and Molly with you until 2 o'clock. Trey Wallace from Outkick joins us each and every week on this program, talking college football. What else are we going to be talking about this time of the year, right? Trey joins us now on the Higginbotham Hotline. First and foremost, Trey, how was week 0 for you? Did you enjoy the festivities?
I mean, it was good. I mean, I'll take it. The first game was fun. Fresno State, Kansas game was kind of lackadaisical, and then all of a sudden, you get Stanford and Hawaii that comes down to the wire, and you got a guy that learned how to kick on YouTube, winning the game for Hawaii. I mean, I couldn't write it up any better, man. I know it was an appetizer, but it was college football, and I'll take it.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And, of course, now week 1, we've got a bunch of SEC teams, including the game that you're going to go to, and I'm looking forward to talking to you about this. So you will be there in Columbus, Ohio. Matter of fact, you were there for the college football playoff when Ohio State embarrassed Tennessee. Your thoughts on Texas and Arch Manning heading up there playing the defending national champion?
Yeah, I think this is it's a pivotal game because it's the first game of the season, but also at the same time, you look at the stars that are going to be on the field for this one, and to me, that's what stands out the most. You look at Texas defense. You look what Ohio State does on their side of the ball. What are they going to roll with Caleb Downs? Are they going to try to play that off? Like, how is Arch going to deal with Wingo on the outside? Who can you get open? You look at the other side of it, and it's, okay, you got Julian Sayin at quarterback. Who's going to guard Jeremiah Smith down the field? You could throw 2 men on him if he would like, but he's still going to find a way to get the ball. And then it opens it up for Carnell Tate. And obviously the Art situation. Like, there is such an aura around him. And I think when you look at it overall on this platform, on this national stage against the defending national champions, to me, it's all about not getting overhyped for what he does, and also not getting disappointed if he comes out and throws for 240, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. To me, it's all about just managing expectations, and I think one of the most interesting parts of this all, you add in the new CFB metrics that they're saying they're going with, which would be strength of schedule. If this one's close, I mean, it's not really going to hurt either team, whoever loses, and I think that just kind of adds to the craziness of this entire game. So couldn't be more excited about this one. I think it's going to live up to the hype, and I think either way we're going to come out of this and we're like, okay, Arch did this, Arch did that. What's it going to look like in the future? Like, I feel like this one's going to be one of those that we remember for a long time.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to go with you, Trey. All of these expectations, it seems like a part of it is fair, but part of it is unfair in what's been placed upon Arch Manning. When you look at this Texas team, not only in this game, but the rest of their schedule, for Texas to play for a national championship, how good does Arch Manning really have to be when you look at the surrounding pieces?
I mean, I think he needs to, and I talked about this. I've talked about this before. I wrote an article about it today. I think that, if he comes out and throws for 250 yards and connects on a couple of touchdowns, and he kind of even mentioned it too. It's like, I'll throw that first interception. What's the public outrage going to be like? I love the fact that he has this mentality this week where it's like, whatever. Like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do what I have to do, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to perform, and however this goes. Like, he's not letting it get to his head. I think that's the most interesting factor out of this all. And look, he comes from a family. They understand the spotlight. He's learned it. He's learned it during his time at Texas. And you add all of that up. I'm not trying to tell people what to do. But what I am saying is, don't go crazy if he does good. Don't go crazy if he doesn't do good. Like, this is really the first big game. I know he started last year a few games, but at the same time, we have to realize this is still a guy that's learning how to play football. And if he can come out and he can put up the stats, then so be it. Like I at the end of the day, I think he has enough weapons around him on offense to be able to win this football game against Ohio State. And then you look at what he has on defense. I think it's going to be an interception, something along those lines, inside the 20-yard line. It sets him up for maybe an easy touchdown, and some of the pressure is taken off of him. But I look at it, and I think Steve Sarkisian also is going to try to do his best to not maybe put him in situations that would not make him crumble underneath the pressure, but also at the same time maybe scare Ohio State a little bit. You know, like we think we know what Arch Manning is. We think he's going to be a Heisman candidate, but we really don't know. And to me, that's what adds to the intrigue about this entire game is, okay, let's see what he's got here, but then realize this is the first game of the season. We got a long way to go. So I don't think the pressure is going to get to him, if I'm being honest with you. But if it does, let's see how he responds. He's had himself a coaching staff that has measured expectations around him. They just want him to go out there and run the offense. So let's see how it plays out. To me, that's the biggest thing. And social media is not real life. You guys know that. But come Saturday afternoon, if he throws a couple interceptions, but they still win the game, I'm curious to see how that reaction is.
Trey Wallace joins us from Outkick for a few more minutes talking college football week number 1. I wanted to get your thoughts on Auburn visiting Baylor. Vegas says it's going to be a very close game. Baylor had a very nice finish to last season, a lot of optimism down on the plains. One way or another, let's say Auburn loses that game. Does that change your outlook for this upcoming season for Auburn?
I mean, yes, in a sense. This is going to be a tough game for Auburn. Going on the road to Baylor Friday night, Waco is going to be loud. It's going to be an interesting environment. Can Jackson Arnold, be the guy that quiets the outside noise per se when he gets to the line of scrimmage? I think the unfortunate part for Auburn is that there's been so many off-season storylines, surrounding this football team. It's like, okay, just come out and perform. Like, get the win. Like, they have better talent than Baylor. I've gone up and down this roster. You got better talent than Baylor. But you guys know this more than anybody. Anything can happen on these Friday night, Saturday games. You're going on the road to start the season. The expectations from inside the building, obviously, you go there to win. But to me, too, it's how much pressure do they take off Jackson Arnold in the first half by trying to run the football? And what's that offensive line? I know what Auburn has on defense. So let's look at the offensive line. And overall, the perception, if they lose the game, there's no way of denying it. There's going to be a lot of members of the Auburn fan base that are going to freak out. And that's okay. That's fine. But at the same time, remember that, okay, we still got a full season left here. How much are we going to try to put this on Hugh Freeze if Auburn comes out and, I don't know, scores 24 points, but, loses because they gave up 31? To me, that's where the different storylines are going to come into play with this one, because I do think Auburn's going to win the football game. But at the same time, a couple of mistakes here and there, obviously he's going to flip the game. And really, it all depends on how you lose. If you go out to Waco and you lose on a last-second field goal or a touchdown within the last, 2 minutes of the game, and Auburn's got to drive the field and they come up short, all right, that's one thing. But if you go out to Baylor, let's just say you only score 17 points and, Baylor's, maybe putting up 28 points, something like, I really do think it comes down to what that final score is. And I know that's easy to say, but also we've been through this last 7 months of the Hugh Freeze era at Auburn. And I just feel like right now, if they lose, it's like a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. But at the same time, I think they got enough talent to go win, and it shouldn't be quite that big of a problem. But anything can happen in college football, and that's what, like what happens if Auburn loses? When's the first golf story going to come out? Monday, Sunday morning? Like, I know somebody has one ready to go just in case they lose, so they can put, Auburn didn't succeed because Hugh Freeze was on the golf course 8 times during the month of July. Like, so that to me is the interesting part of this is, what's going to be the flavor coming out of this. And to me, it's Auburn, just go take care of business. I know you can win this football game. Let's go see it on the field. Stop Baylor's offense. I know Baylor's going to try to test you down the field multiple times, but again, this narrative around Hugh Freeze, I think that's just something we're going to have to deal with for the entire season.
Trey, what in particular are you looking to learn as Alabama visits Doak Campbell and takes on Florida State?
Let's see what they can do against his running quarterback. I mean, Thomas Castellanos. I mean, to me, that's the biggest thing. Besides the fact, okay, what do they try to do here with Ty Simpson? They try to get Ty Simpson in the pocket 4 or 5 times in the first half and test them deep. You know, let's see if we can get 40 yards down the field. How much did they try to open it up on the offensive side? Because I think Alabama's defense is going to give Florida State a bunch of problems. I really do. But it's how do they offset running back injury? Okay, do they try to establish the line of scrimmage? This is going to be a different Kalen DeBoer team this year. The defense is there. In my opinion, the offense is there. Like, it's going to come out tomorrow, but I'll go ahead and tell you guys now. I got Alabama playing in the national championship game against Clemson.
Oh, breaking news! Now hold on a second. We got to do this up big here. Hold on, Trey. All right, this is what we do on this program. Here we go. Hit it.
That sound means there's breaking news here on the show. For more, we send it to Pat Smith at the 3-Man Front Breaking News Desk.
Thank you, Landrum. You just heard this moments ago. Trey Wallace from Outkick is declaring Alabama will play for the national championship in 2025. Trey, how about that? We kind of did it up big for you.
It is big, and I'm glad you guys did it. It makes it a lot better in this situation because I was going back and forth this week, and I'm like, all right, yeah, like this is going to be the team, like, and I do think they can be. I really do. I think that they're going to have enough out of Simpson, that offensive line, the defensive side of the ball. Kalen DeBoer was learning in year 1, okay? Now I think he's settled in. He's got his buddy there running the offense. He can trust him with that. I think Alabama has enough talent to do this thing, and I think they're going to make an example out of Florida State. I think it's, maybe a little close in the first half. But then Alabama starts to break away in the third quarter, and by the fourth quarter, Florida State fans are wondering, are we going to see a repeat of 2024?
Trey, you have no idea what you did for our own Conrad Van Order, Alabama grad, diehard Bammer. He just lit up a cigarette and he's in a bathrobe.
He's crying.
Thank you, Trey. I really needed that today, man.
Go have yourself a drink with that cigarette, buddy, and enjoy it. 'Cause I think this is going to be a very fun season for Alabama. I really do. I think they shut down the narratives from last year, and can Kalen DeBoer follow a legend? All right, Nick Saban's been gone. That story's done with. And at the end of the day, if you just look at the talent on the field, Alabama has it. And we all know things can happen in the playoffs, and I get that completely. But if we're just looking at it right now, I do have them playing for a national championship, and I just think that Saturday, especially if it's pouring down raining there, and that lines up perfectly what Alabama's trying to do. And it also takes the ability from Thomas Castellanos to be able to run the football.
That is Trey Wallace. He will be in Columbus, Ohio for the number 1 versus 2 matchup. Trey, always appreciate your time. We look forward to catching up with you next week.
Thanks, Trey.
Guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of fun starting tomorrow night all the way through next Monday night. So thanks for having me, and have a good weekend.
Safe travels, friend.
Thank you, Trey. Thank you very much. He joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Wasn't ready for all that.
I wasn't either. I was not prepped for that.
There's a lot to take away from what Mr. Trey Wallace just told us. We'll do it next on 3-Man Front. 12:51. Three-man front. Trey Wallace just joining us. Well, that was a fun college football season. Bring it back home. Trey likes Alabama. Prediction here on the show. Conrad, you okay?
Yeah, I feel way better after it's been a roller coaster of a day. You know, Tim Keenan snaps his Achilles or whatever. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But Tim Keenan gets a little banged up in practice, and now
you just don't say stuff like that, man.
And now Trey. Well, I'm kidding. He's fine.
Well, then what happens when it happens?
Well, then you can blame me. He's going to be fine though.
Well, yes, but we will blame you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. As I told my emotions are all over the place. They were down here, now they're up here. Now I'm trying to get somewhere back in the middle.
Oh, we didn't curse him at media days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this might be y'all's fault.
Well, I don't know.
Hopefully he's going to be okay. No, but Trey Wallace really, he likes Auburn to win their football game over Baylor. But loving Alabama.
To win a lot of games.
To win a natty.
Did he say win or
play,
just play
for a natty?
Okay.
Play for a natty.
I was about to say, I knew he said play for.
That was enough for you, though,
That'd
right?
be a nice season. That would be a nice season. It's been a while.
Would
It's
you
been
rather
5 years since they won a national championship?
I know, Pat. I know.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Conrad, would
for
you
me.
rather play for a natty, know that you're going to play for a natty and lose, or just get to a college football playoff?
And see what happens? Just get me in the playoff and let's see what happens.
Okay.
I don't want it to already be decided. Feel good.
And I guess we'll have to wait. We didn't do the follow-up question because we were so excited to hear what he had to predict in regards to one of our state's own playing for a national champion. He didn't tell us who they were going to play, though, right?
No.
Clemson.
Oh, he did say Clemson?
Did you say Clemson?
Yeah, he said Alabama was going to play Clemson.
Sorry,
Okay.
I stopped listening after Alabama.
I was in shock.
Yeah, he didn't tell us who he thought was going to win, but he did predict Alabama versus Clemson.
Man, that is another. You don't want that particular matchup again.
No,
I kind of want to see it.
I don't.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. Like, obviously, I mean, I'm not going to complain about it, but it'd be cool if you got something different that we haven't seen. And I think a lot of people would feel the same way. Like, I mean, Alabama, Georgia would be great, but we've seen that.
All right, so yeah, give me title contenders and who you would like to see. I don't need to see Alabama, Ohio State again.
No, that didn't go too well for them last time.
Alabama, Penn State. Ugh.
No, but the historian,
I know,
people would
and I
go
watched those
nuts
games.
for
I watched
that.
those games growing up, but I don't want to see that game for a natty.
I want to see Alabama and Oregon. We've gotten Auburn and Oregon. Let's see Alabama and Oregon.
How about Miami and Alabama?
Now sign me up for that.
With Bama Hater and Conrad having debate number 2 at Social Taco
We need that.
on the week of the national championship game.
That's outcome decided, though. Alabama wins that game by 3 scores.
Dang.
Give me something that's going to
That's my
entice
boy.
me. Give me something
That's my boy.
Give me something that's going to entice me.
I know
that
we've seen
team
it.
is.
Alabama LSU would be really fun this year, I think. Rematch for a natty. I'm just saying it is technically possible that you could have Alabama and Auburn playing for national championship.
Well, if that happens, go ahead and press the red button. We're all going down in flames.
It's been a jam-packed show. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Brian Edwards, Chris Stewart, David Smoke from 365 Sports in Waco, Texas, Trey Wallace from Outkick. You just heard that big breaking news story that Trey Wallace has Alabama playing in the national championship game this year. Has them going up against Clemson. He will be in Columbus, Ohio this weekend as the Texas Longhorns will be taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes, number 1 versus number 2, there to kick off the season as week 1 gets going. A little bit of news earlier today in the SEC teleconference for the coaches. Eric Singleton Jr., according to Hugh Freeze, he is not 100%, but he is expected to play against Baylor on Friday night. Meanwhile, Kalen DeBoer, during his SEC teleconference, he mentioned the fact that Tim Keenan was injured in practice. He had a lower body injury. It is yet to be determined the extent of the injury, but he will probably not be able to go and be a part of the game on Saturday. So that could change depending on him being able to be worked out by the wonderful staff there at the University of Alabama's sports medicine. We'll see what happens there. Also this morning, Kalen DeBoer was on the Jim Rome radio show. And this is what he had to say to Jim Rome in Rome Nation.
Yeah, well, if you're a fan of college football and just guys staying put and, there's people that just don't love the transfer portal, this is the guy that he's easy to root for because he stayed here. He's really just kept plugging away day after day. It's helped him build great relationships, great respect, not just here on this team, but amongst the fan base and, even hopefully across college football. But just a really cool kid that's got a ton of talent and, again, can't help but want him to reach his dreams and goals because he stayed the course and he's just kept plugging away and supported last year Jalen Milroe, kept focused on what he can control. But here he is, leading the charge here this year and excited to have him take the field and lead us on Saturday.
Obviously, he was talking about Ty Simpson. I did not do a very good job setting that up properly, but he was referring to Ty Simpson, him being the starting quarterback for Alabama. Speaking of starting quarterbacks, Arch Manning is going to get the opportunity to take his Texas Longhorns out onto the field. There's one guy, and you remember this last year, Jordan Rodgers was not a fan of Jalen Milroe. If you remember the infamous loss in Nashville, how that next week he questioned Jalen Milroe, his what did he say in regards to his?
It was his lack of effort on trying to tackle.
On the interception, on the pick six.
Correct.
Yeah. And Jordan would know because he threw a lot of pick sixes in his careers at Vanderbilt. But anyway, I digress. He was on Get Up this morning, and he was talking about Arch Manning. Take a listen to this criticism of the signal caller for the Longhorns.
But I will say, and I'm going to say this, I don't know what you guys talked about when I went off air. The hype doesn't match the tape. There are good things, and there are some good things, but the hype or the tape to me doesn't tell you got a first-round draft pick or a top 10 or a number 1 overall draft pick or a Heisman hopeful. I think he's going to go into Ohio State and he's going to struggle because he hasn't played anybody. The last time we saw him against a really good defense was Georgia, and he looked out of place, right? He looked really good against UTSA, Louisiana Monroe, and Mississippi State, the worst defense in the SEC. I think there's still a lot for him to grow and a lot we need to see, like Lewis said.
That's why I asked Trey the question. That's why I brought it up 2 months ago on the show. Just what if Arch is not what some people have created him to be before playing a ton of meaningful football?
I think the good thing for Texas is, at least on paper, we'll see how it looks on Saturday, should have one of the best defenses in the country.
Should.
And that can help you kind of weather the storm a little bit if he has some growing pains for Arch Manning. And you are going up in a first-time quarterback in Julian Saint on the other side, too, on Saturday. So maybe that helps. They're both going to have some rookie mistakes, I would think. But I think it's a fair question, and I'm glad you brought it up because we have so many people are just so enamored with Arch, they can't even fathom the potential of him not living up to the hype.
I'm really, really cautious, and this is not specific to Texas, but any college football team at this point, but maybe more so Texas. I heard it last year before the start of the season. Texas's offensive line. Remember we heard that NFL ready offensive line, different aspects of it. And there were multiple times and examples throughout the season. You just didn't see it. Not just with the offensive line, just with Texas against Georgia, both times. Games that they struggled in, but still won. I'm not ready to crown them as a college football title winner. I'm not ready to award a Heisman Trophy to Arch Manning. And if you're asking me to bet, does he exceed expectations or fall below expectations? I would put all of my money on fall below expectations because they are so outrageously high.
Jordan must not have gotten the memo. You do not criticize an SEC quarterback on national television, especially when your checks are signed by the SEC network.
Well, I'm just going to beat my chest, and you can beat your chest, Pat, because we watched the tape
from high school.
Old 2A football there in Louisiana, right?
I don't even know if it was 2A.
Look, and he was really good.
Yeah.
But he was playing against me and Pat.
I forgot. Who did we have on the national recruiting?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Oh, is it the one that essentially I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember this.
I mean, he was very complimentary, but he just basically said that if Arch's last name was Smith or Roberts, we would not be having
this conversation.
This conversation about
I was about to say, didn't he say that he would be he might be a 3-star in some places if he wasn't, his name was different? I don't remember that's exactly what it was.
Well, I mean, I'll just say this. I mean, Brody Kroll played in a very low classification in Alabama, and he was a very good quarterback. Now, was he a Heisman Trophy quarterback? Obviously not. And with Arch Manning's name, because he, like Brody Kroll, played at a lower classification where you're not playing 7A Region 3 football in Birmingham. A little bit different than what he was playing in New Orleans.
You're not playing guys that you're going to see the next year in your conference and
No,
you're
not.
College. Pat, let me correct you. I have called games in 7A like you have, and I saw that tape. That was much different.
Yeah.
Well, in part, I'll be honest, part of me does feel kind of bad for Arch because anything short of him winning a Heisman and winning a national championship, he's never going to get. He could be an improvement over Quinn Ewers, but if he doesn't win a Heisman, he doesn't take him to a title, he's going to be viewed as a failure. And that's unfortunate that he's in that situation, but that's what the hype does.
When was the last time we had this much hype around a quarterback in the SEC entering a season besides Ty Simpson?
Well, are you talking about
Conrad?
Obviously, Manziel's second season.
Yeah.
After what he did.
No, I guess I'm going from a standpoint, Pat, of
first time starting.
Yeah, we haven't seen
first time starting.
A ton of him. Maybe Bryce Young.
I mean, I would say it would at least go back, but it was because of the situation when it was like the Tua thing and him and Jalen Hurts. But that was more about the competition, I think, other than, oh my gosh, what is Tua going to be? Because you already kind of had an idea of how good he could be.
Bryce Young was that guy, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I would say that was because he was the number one quarterback recruit in the country and very high expectations. But it wasn't Arch Manning level.
No.
But that's because, again, the name more than.
Has to do with his dad and his uncles and the family and his
the
grandfather.
fact that Texas stock has.
And Texas. And you couple that with Texas, and then it's just going to be.
And they're
absurd.
new to the SEC. I mean, it's the whole package.
And no shot at other programs. But for example, let's say he followed Eli to Ole Miss. I think there would still be a ton of hype around him, but I don't think it would be. It wouldn't
be this large.
No, but there'd be a lot.
I mean, Texas has been a really good program the last couple of years. They go to the SEC. They play for an SEC championship in year one. So, yeah, I mean, it's a confluence of a perfect storm for the Arch Manning family. So, but I was a little bit surprised that. But hey. Jordan Rodgers, hats off for giving an opinion, and he obviously is going to stand by it.
Has the whole family said they're going to be there for the game in Columbus?
I have not seen.
Nothing? Okay.
Do not know. So, yeah.
You know what I think Arch Manning's plan is for Saturday?
We're finna make people in wheelchairs stand up.
Wait, what? What was that?
We're finna make people in wheelchairs stand up.
We finna make people in wheelchairs stand up? Is that what you just played?
That would be correct, Pat.
We finna make the people in wheelchairs stand up.
Can you spell finna?
Finna, right?
Correct.
Finna.
That would be one.
Who said that?
Deshaun Singleton, the pride of the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Wait a second. He plays for Matt Rule, and he's using the words like finna.
We finna make people in wheelchairs stand up.
How's DeFrost Chilius doing?
He plays for who's he play for now? Not Nebraska.
He was at La Tech, wasn't he?
I think that's it. Yep.
So he's talking about
place to go,
Nebraska
get
is
lost.
going to do that to Cincinnati. That they're going to.
Correct. Yes, that was the Nebraska DB talking about tomorrow's game against Cincinnati. They're going to make people in wheelchairs stand up, according to him.
Wow.
When Jesus did it, I don't want to compare him to Nebraska football.
I'll let you know when I see him walk on water, and then we can maybe have a conversation.
Yeah. What about water and wine? You pull that one off?
Just hand him a loaf of bread.
Mighty
How
bold.
many people can you feed with this loaf of bread?
Yeah. Yeah, let's see what else you can do there, youngster.
Well, Jesus did it. That was awesome.
What's his name again?
Deshaun
DeFroster.
Deshaun Singleton.
Okay.
Deshaun Singleton.
If it makes you feel any better, when he said the clip, I think it was when he was around some of his other players or teammates, and they even had the same reaction we did of, wait, what?
Wait, what?
Wait, what? Are you sure that's what you want to say?
You know what that reminds me of is the original Fletch.
Yes.
Or was it the next Fletch? No, it was original Fletch.
Original.
He goes in and televangelist.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, haven't seen that.
You gotta watch it.
No.
You gotta put that on your to watch list.
Okay.
You'll appreciate the movie.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
You're saving that one, right?
Yes, I am for
all season.
All
season.
That'll be a hotkey. Don't worry.
Finna.
Okay.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, sorry, that one just slipped.
That's a good one.
That's a classic. You know, last night at the Coach Safely Foundation banquet, I had the opportunity to see Josh Gargis and Drew Lawley from Courtesy GMC. They were in attendance. And, you know, if you go out to Courtesy GMC and Trustful, it's in their name, because whether you're in the market for a brand new GMC, which is going to be the lowest price you're going to find anywhere in the Southeast, or a pre-owned vehicle, they got about 30 to choose from there on site. They're going to take care of you. The service department, they win awards every single year because of what they do for the customers. The body shop, if you have a little ding up or two, that's award winning as well. It's just an impressive whole operation. So get out and see them off of I-459 exit 32. And right now, GMC Sierra 1500, you could save 17 grand. Sierra 2500 HD, save $13,000. Yukon XL, save $5,000 on these top performing SUVs. And the 2026 Acadias, the AT4s, they have arrived. Go by and see them. Or you can check out their online inventory at courtesybirmingham.com. 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty for long-lasting peace of mind on every brand new vehicle you buy there at Courtesy. Go by and see them or check them out online at courtesybirmingham.com.
We still have questions from Pat that we'll try to answer as a group. The Wednesday edition of 3-Man Front on Jox rolls on.
118 here on Jox, Pat, Molly Landrum. Almost combined Molly and Landrum's name.
I thought you were about to call yourself Pat McAfee.
No, I wouldn't do that.
That's what I thought too, Conrad.
No. It's been an emotional show for Conrad. It's been a lot of ups and downs. Tim Keenan injured. Not sure if he's going to play on Saturday. Trey Wallace predicting Alabama's going to play for a national championship against Clemson. It's been all over the place.
See what tomorrow holds. One day at a time.
Tomorrow, some of our featured guests on the program includes we will go to the South Carolina version of Death Valley. We will go to Clemson, South Carolina. We will talk to Clemson insiders Will Vandervoort. He'll be one of our special guests as we will preview the LSU Clemson game. Don't forget about Brett Norsworthy, who hit his I ain't scared bold prediction, he said, and we were laughing at him. He said he said Idaho, right? Idaho State?
Yep, plus 26.5.
Yep, plus
nailed
26.5. He nailed that one. And don't think he didn't let me know about it.
I'm sure he did.
So he will be on the program along with Rodney Orr, Rob Pate. So, yeah, we got a lot going on tomorrow as we get ready. And there will be an SEC game tomorrow night as Central Arkansas, 6-6 last year. They're taking on the Missouri Tigers. Mizzou 10-3 last year, 5-3 in the SEC. That will be on the SEC network at 6:30. But, of course, at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Molly will not be available on her phone because she'll be watching
Do not contact me.
Nebraska and Cincinnati.
No one talk to me.
No one?
Well, now it's okay, but tomorrow night.
Will your friend group, will you guys be texting left and right?
Probably not because they're all going to be at the game.
We're finna make people in wheelchairs stand up.
Yeah, what is your thought on that? Seriously.
That's just ridiculous. I've never heard that before.
That needs to be on a t-shirt.
I really. Oh, I'm sure someone will make a t-shirt out of
Hey,
that.
if you beat Cincinnati?
It's just insane.
I'm trying to remember who it was, but there was a musician, I think it was a hip-hop artist in the last couple of years who had an incident where they were at a concert and they were like, why are these people in the crowd not standing up? And it was because it was the people that were in wheelchairs, unfortunately, and they had to apologize and all. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Do you think he's going to have to apologize for saying that?
It depends on how they show up tomorrow, Pat.
Yeah.
Now, is this a young guy? I mean, is he new to the team? Or is he like a...
He's probably a team captain, right, Molly? Deshaun Singleton?
I would hope not.
Maybe he was just pumped up after the Matt Rule podcast. I saw the open to that today.
You know who said that quote first?
Mm-mm.
This was a couple years ago. Former Alabama wide receiver Javon Baker, I'm sorry.
He didn't have the right to say that. It's like, now, if you were going to say, like, Jerry Jeudy said that or Jalen Waddle said that, like, okay, I'll give you that
Where
one.
did Baker transfer to?
Who cares?
Because I type in that quote.
Didn't he go to Central Florida, maybe?
You know what? That sounds familiar.
Molly had to pull a fast one on me.
Well, I type in the quote on Twitter, on Google.
Yeah, and that's the first thing that comes.
That popped up.
Yeah, he didn't have a right to say
Yeah, he went to Central Florida. He's from Powder Springs, Georgia. Played at Bama. He's got a national championship ring.
That's great.
Yeah.
He was getting Jerry Jeudy water on the sidelines, I'm sure.
He transferred to UCF in 2022. And he's been with the New England Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he still there? I don't know with all the roster changes in the last
see.
24 hours, whether he's playing or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
It looks like it, yeah.
Is he?
Good for him.
He made the 53-man roster.
And you're making fun of him.
And you're making fun of him.
And what did he do at Alabama again? Nothing? Okay.
This guy.
He's making millions of dollars playing in the National Football League.
And that's great for him.
What difference does it make what he did at Alabama?
He's doing much better in life than I am.
He's
and I'm
providing
happy for
food for his family.
And he absolutely is doing that.
Making a lot of money doing it.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything for me.
Can't believe him.
Now see, he's back in the valley.
Yeah.
You know, he was on top of the peaks just a couple minutes ago when Trey said that Alabama was going to play for the national championship. Now he's back in the doldrums.
He's just mad because a former Alabama player said it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shouldn't have said that. But it's in the past. It is what it is.
Hugh Freeze told us a little bit earlier during the SEC teleconference that Eric Singleton Jr. is not 100% healthy, but he will play at Baylor. David Smoke from 365 Sports, he joined the show last hour, and he told us that this is the biggest game in the history of McLean Stadium. Now, keep in mind, McLean Stadium hasn't been around for 50 years, but still says
When he
a
said
lot.
even going back to the older stadium, it's certainly one of the biggest they've ever had non-conference-wise.
Yeah. Well, and also keep in mind that back in those days, Kevin Steele was also the head coach there for a couple of years, and I don't think they won a game. So
Yeah, they weren't good for a while.
yeah. So that was a pretty much of a doormat in the old Southwest Conference for many, many years. Alabama defensive tackle Tim Keenan, he suffered a lower body injury, and Kalen DeBoer told the SEC media teleconference earlier this morning that it's yet to be determined how bad the injury is. We're not talking about a season-long injury, but his availability for Saturday is still being figured out by the Alabama medical staff. So we'll see what happens there. Ryan Williams, he met with the media yesterday, and a lot of talk about Ty Simpson winning the quarterback competition. This is what Ryan Williams had to say about Ty Simpson and his preparation upcoming for Florida State.
Honestly, I think that Ty's been ready for a while. You know, just with the way he's attacked this offseason, you know, just being here at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and I'm bumping into him, you know, I'm going to get stretched, and he's coming out of the film room, you know, just little things like that. You know, it's all about preparation, and he's prepared.
4 or 5 a.m.
Maybe he listens to Morning Jox. That's what I like to think.
That's what it is. He comes and gets his morning workout in, and then
Says, I got to listen to Damien and that other guy.
Those idiots are going to motivate me for the day.
That's right.
Oh, that's smack.
I called him idiots. Strong.
He probably didn't say that. He probably said DAs. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Ty Simpson also met with the media yesterday, and the South Florida game was the first opportunity that people like Conrad got to see Ty Simpson. And as we all remember, that was a less than stellar game for the Alabama Crimson Tide. This is what Ty Simpson had to say about learning from that play, the time that he came in and played against South Florida just a couple of years ago.
You know, I learned a lot from the South Florida game. One, you know, just being more mature and got to prepare better. And two, just, you know, not making it bigger than what it is. You know, I was super excited, super anxious going in to that game because I didn't know, you know, what to expect, what to prepare for. And, you know, after talking to, you know, Coach DeBoer, Coach Grubb, Coach Sheridan, even Coach Saban, you know, and they all, you know, said the same thing, just to go have fun, you know, just control what you can control and make sure to keep the main thing. I said it earlier. And, you know, the main thing to me is making sure that we don't have any negative plays, and so moving the ball down the field. So like I said earlier, it's rain, snow, you know, sleet, sunshine, man. I'm just going to, you know, make sure that we have positive plays and get my team the best position to win.
Hey, he's excited. He's ready to go.
I would love to hear from Ty Simpson with the mics turned off and just having that conversation, how influential and how big of an impact and how drastic a change it's been with Ryan Grubb in his ear every day as opposed to anybody else prior to that.
That would be a very interesting conversation.
I bet he looks at things through a whole new lens.
I am happy to hear that out of this next quote you're going to hear from Ty Simpson is that Alabama is paying an individual $500,000 a year. And maybe he's now going to become the quarterback whisperer. Take a listen to who Ty Simpson reached out to talk about his upcoming season and being QB1 in Tuscaloosa.
I talked to Coach Saban here recently, and I asked him the same question. You know, I was like, you know, what do I need to tell myself going into a game like this on just, you know, how to not get so anxious, how to not, you know, get nervous, how to not make it bigger than what it is. And he was just like, you know, hey, just play within yourself. You know, make sure that you know, keep your team out of negative plays and negative drives. And, you know, he always said that if you end the drive with a punt, a kick, a PAT, a field goal, or a punt, then you know you're in good shape and you're not dead in the water. So, you know, I'm taking that approach of just making sure, like, hey, you know, I'm going to make sure that I march down the field and do everything I can to move the ball forward and not go backwards.
That was Ty Simpson talking about reaching out to Nick Saban, the former Alabama head coach, current game day host on ESPN. p.m. Also, last hour, we heard from Trey Wallace. He said that Alabama's going to play for a national championship. Jesse Simonton, formerly of On3 Network, he's now doing a Substack podcast and doing some things in college football. He quote tweeted this Tim Keenan information about him being dinged up. And they said that, well, now the report is, I don't know if you've seen this, that he's going to have a tightrope surgery on his ankle.
Roller coaster, man.
This is according to Brett McMurphy. Now, I've not been told that from Tuscaloosa. Not saying that Brett is wrong, but that is now what is being reported by Brett McMurphy.
You just don't like that because I think any Alabama fan, you hear tightrope, you immediately go to and what he had to go through with all that. So I guess hopefully he's back by Georgia if you're having some sort of – I mean, I can't imagine you're going to be ready to go a week from now if you're having surgery like that. So maybe a couple weeks for Tim now.
And the reason I'm bringing this up is because Jesse Simonson said the following. My Alabama is going to win the SEC National Championship car is starting to take some dings in the Publix parking lot. I thought that was a funny tweet.
No, it is. Put your carts away.
Do we need
people.
to call Trey Wallace back to see if he wants to amend his Alabama playing in the national championship game?
I would say this is, somebody opens car door. It's a little close. Maybe there's a little scratch, but it's not something super noticeable. But it's certainly there, and you know that it's there.
It just dawned on me, Trey Wallace, we had the breaking news sounder earlier. He was on with us when the smoke came out of the Vatican when we got a new pope.
Mm-hmm.
On the air with us when that happened.
You're right.
So he is our Nick Castellanos.
Yeah.
Of the show.
It sure is.
It's a great comparison.
According to Brett McMurphy, he will be out multiple games.
Oh, crap.
Look at him.
I know.
It's not good, man.
There he goes. We lost our boy. And I'm talking about Conrad.
It's a good thing Jeremiah Beeman's my favorite defensive lineman at Alabama.
He's going to get his opportunity.
Yes, he is.
Over the next couple of weeks. That's for sure.
I don't think Gus is just...
Let's hear from Jackson Arnold.
Pretty good Gus.
Yeah.
Jackson Arnold was talking about the Baylor defense. And what have you seen so far on tape?
They're a big simulated zone pressure team, and being able to study that in the field and study what parts of the field that we can attack and take advantage of has been big for us in our film study. And we come out here in the practice field going out and executing our calls and making sure we're running the right routes at the right depths and getting in the windows that we need to get in.
Jackson Arnold talking about the Baylor game. Auburn currently a 2.5-point favorite over Baylor. When we come back, we'll do some Pat Ponders, all that straight ahead on Three Man Front.
1:34, the Wednesday edition of Pat Ponders comes your way momentarily. Well, we're not going to have to wait long. We got week 0, just an appetizer of the college football season. We got week 1 all cranking up tomorrow. And when it comes to college football, when it comes through professional football, no better place than our friends at Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? You can make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. And it's really simple to play. Usually each day, me and Conrad pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. You can download the app today. Use code WJOX to get $50 in lineups. After you play your first $5 lineup, you don't even have to win. You're going to get that $50 bonus. That's code WJOX to get the $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Conrad, thank you very much. We were winners last night.
Yes, sir.
And remind our listeners who we went more or less on.
So we had Giancarlo Stanton of the Yankees, 1.5 hits, runs scored, RBIs. He had 5 RBIs last night. And then we went less on Austin Wells, 0.5 hits, runs, RBIs. He went 0 on the night. So we were big winners yesterday, thanks to the Yankees.
All right. Tonight we will go back to professional baseball, and this will be one of the last times we do it because we have football season cranking up, and our player projections are going to involve football. Let's go because it's getaway day. How do you say Randy's name?
Arozarena.
Arozarena. Taking on the Padres today. Combined hits, runs batted in, more or less than 1.5. A combination, you can add them all up. All he's got to do is more than 1.5.
Less.
All right. I'm going to take your advice on that one. We're going to go less. How about Gavin Sheets, outfielder, Padres, 0.5. More or less?
More. Big day for the Padres.
Big day for the Padres. If we hit more on both of those, we're a winner. Prize Picks run your game. 5 questions from Pat we try to answer. This is what we call Pat Ponders.
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponders.
Brought to you by Courtesy GMC and Trussville, right off of exit 32, I-459, Edwards Lake Road, next to Lowe's. Visit them online at courtesybirmingham.com. Question number 1. Will the victorious quarterback in the LSU-Clemson game win the Heisman?
Yes. Yes.
Would you like to tell me which one?
It would be Mr. Klubnik.
Okay.
And they will be playing for a national title against Alabama. The Heisman will already be awarded at that point to Mr. Klubnik. He's going to go in with a big head. Ty Simpson is going to outshine him, and Alabama's going to win.
My gosh, he has already played this out?
I'm doing a Brett Norsworthy here. Alabama wins number 29, Conrad.
We're doing Yankees championships or Alabama?
I'm adding them all together.
Adding them all together. Well, we're at higher than 29, Landrum. Come on. Yeah, I'd like to have a more clever answer, but yeah, I think Cade Klubnik is who I would vote for if we did a preseason Heisman, which doesn't mean anything, but he would get my early vote. And I think a lot of it just has to do if you get this win over LSU, it's going to help him so much. And then, yes, the competition he's going to face the rest of the way, he'll be able to put up some big-time numbers. So, yeah, I think Clemson wins the game. I think Klubnik won the Heisman.
Yeah, Klubnik and Nuss, they've been on pretty much every early Heisman voting I've seen. But if I were to pick today, I'd pick Cade Klubnik.
So we got 3 Clemson predictions here of winning against LSU this week.
Sorry, Pat, I was supposed to say no because Arch Manning's going to win the Heisman. I apologize. I didn't look at my script from the SEC.
All right, Jordan. Question number 2. Yesterday, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift got engaged. The season over-under on Kelce's receiving touchdowns is 4.5. Do you go over or under that number now that he's engaged?
Over. I think he's still somewhat blue-collar compared to her bank account, and he just bought a $1 million ring.
You say 4.5?
4.5.
I'd still take the over.
You know how many he had last year?
How many? 3? Nah, I'm taking the over.
You know how many he had the year before that? 5.
Taking the over.
Who's buying the cow? Who's buying the cow here? Is it Taylor buying the cow or is it Travis buying the cow?
I think he goes under that. I think he does about what he did last year.
Y'all are crazy.
He's like 36 years. I mean, he was one of the greatest tight ends of all time, but Father Time catches up to everyone, and it's caught up to Travis a little bit.
I have faith.
All right, so you two are going over.
In case you haven't noticed, the NFL's in on this thing.
Absolutely.
The tweet yesterday immediately.
They did have that picture ready to go.
You got everybody on board. Yeah.
The other thing with Travis, though.
There will be a design. He will get at least 5 touchdowns.
Well, and here's the other thing is what they love to do. Now, he's a little bit older, so they're going to keep him fresh for the playoffs.
Of course they are.
And you're not going to see him get as much action in the regular season because that's what happened the last couple of years. And then he does great in the postseason.
Okay, so we have 2 overs and 1 under. So we'll watch that as the season
Going more, 4.5.
progresses.
There you go.
All right, speaking of Kelsey and Swift, if they were to sell the broadcast rights for their wedding via pay-per-view, how much would you be willing to pay to watch their nuptials?
0. I would pay $5 to watch the reception.
So I would pay $0 to watch the wedding, but
would you pay $5 to watch the reception?
No.
The reception?
I don't care. Why do I want to watch that?
I think that would be a free Taylor show.
I don't think she's going to perform at her own wedding.
She is going to perform.
So I saw this on Twitter yesterday, Molly, and I know you're going to love this idea. But somebody said for her new album that comes out, in one, you do like a Willy Wonka thing. You put a golden ticket in one of the CDs or vinyls, and it's an invitation to the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift wedding. And she would sell 10 million copies of her album in the first week because people would go nuts trying to get the wedding ticket.
How bummed would you be, though, when it said you had to pay your own way?
Well, that would be unfortunate.
All right, so we have 2 already in Pat Ponders that says they would not pay to watch it on pay-per-view. What about our resident Swiftie?
How, do we know a ball? I mean, not that
No.
you would know.
I mean, I'm just saying, if
would you pay
if it is
$50?
offered, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Would you
I'd pay
pay
20.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's your ceiling then.
Yeah.
$20. Okay.
Love is patient.
So you would pay as much to watch their wedding as your mother paid me to use random people's toothbrushes.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, if that's equal entertainment value, then
I want to see no. I want to see Jason at the reception. I'm paying $5 for that.
See his best man speech. I want to listen to that.
There's no way
that would be a good one.
There's no way he's keeping his shirt on.
No
All right,
way.
so how much does her record cost? The vinyl?
$30.
$30. So you wouldn't even go $30. You would buy the record, but you would not pay $30 to watch.
I mean, maybe 30, but I definitely wouldn't go over 50.
See, now we're talking her up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how much these things cost.
Well, no, man, it's just it's a hypothetical.
Yeah.
If she really cared about her fans, it would be free, Molly.
Well, let's hope it is.
The first time I saw you. She's already written a song, right, about it? High School Romance.
I will say it would be cool if at their wedding she played a song that she had written for their wedding day or something. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
I could see maybe something like that.
How much would you allow Paige to pay to watch it?
$20.
Seriously? Paige said that she wanted to watch it. That's all you would spend is $20.
To watch that?
I'm telling you, if it's $50, me and Paige are watching that.
Okay, there you go. $25. Y'all can split it.
See, we can split it.
We're good to go.
Yeah.
The amount of money that you probably spent on alcohol to watch Alabama football?
Pat, that is irrelevant. Irrelevant.
I don't think so.
But you're not going to allow your wife to pay more than $20 to watch Taylor Swift?
Conrad, it's a guy's day out. Let them do it. We'll go play golf.
I was about to say, obviously, the answer in reality is if Paige wants to do it, she's going to do it. And I'm going to let her because I love her and she's my wife.
Like that?
There it is.
I'm going to let her.
There it is.
Well, I didn't mean it like
she
that.
Can, oh, my goodness.
This is disappointing.
It is.
I meant out of my love for her, I will let
that's
her
not what
do
you
that.
meant.
No, you're too late now.
Mr. Page.
Good thing she's at work right now.
Undefeated.
Podcast will be available very soon. All right, final question of the day.
Might not post this one.
All right, I sent you guys a link, so check this out. Major League Baseball Ballpark Bites. It's an online service in 38 states. Now, this service brings your favorite ballpark-inspired hot dogs, sandwiches, right to your doorstep. You can order a Los Angeles street dog, a Philly cheesesteak, or a New York steakhouse sandwich. Food delivery services like Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash offer delivery of these foods. Unfortunately, like sports gambling, it is not available in the state of Alabama.
Good grief.
I know.
Of course.
I talked to Coach Tuberville last night at the banquet about some of these things that we don't have. So it's not available here, but it's available in Mississippi and every other place in the world. But if it was available in the state of Alabama, which ballpark food would you love to order?
The barbecue bacon chicken sandwich. It's a chicken tender with barbecue sauce, bacon, and it's thrown into a hot dog bun made out of pretzels.
That's what I was going to say, too.
Sign me up for that.
That looks
Hot dog
good.
bun or pretzel.
Gonna
That
feel
does sound good.
awful the next day.
What ballpark is that from? Just random?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
Pat, I would love a Runza sandwich.
Well, that's not an option, Landrum.
I would love a Runza. 2 years ago, a Runza was promised to me, and one was promised to Pat.
Yep.
They're very popular at Nebraska football games.
Only if we knew someone that had connections in the state of Nebraska.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Do people get out of their wheelchairs for the Runza?
Yeah, do they, Molly?
That's terrible.
So you said a Runza, but it's not available. So what food that's not available? I mean, that is available, but not in Alabama. It's so confusing.
Man,
They have the ball bucket.
I'm sorry.
He loves some balls and buckets.
If it's boot and balls.
No, it's donut holes tossed in
No,
cinnamon sugar.
You know I don't like sweets.
He won't
Who am
eat
I
that.
ordering that for?
Your wife.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, Philly cheesesteak's great. We went up to Philly for the Army Navy. I had 5 different Philly cheesesteaks from 5 different places.
Did you and the guy outside the hotel go?
He was eating something on a stick, Pat.
Oh, like a kebab?
There was some bobbing.
Molly,
God,
which one would you like to order?
You know what? I had put that out of my mind.
I said
You
the barbecue
jackwad.
bacon chicken.
Why did you call me that?
Because of that? Very appropriate. That was horrible. You, Molly, you hate scary movies? This would be the scariest movie you ever saw.
Great.
I just got a text from Paige and I got real nervous for a second. Then it just said, it's been a really busy day at work. So I'm like, whoo, we're good. We are okay.
All right. Sorry, Molly. Sorry for him.
The barbecue bacon chicken.
So it's the same one he
Yeah.
ordered.
It looks really good.
Okay. I was excited when I saw it, and then I saw that Alabama's not available for delivery. I'm like, oh, okay.
Available in all states.
Except Alabama.
Except the one you live in.
Yeah.
It's like Alabama and Hawaii.
Yeah, but go check it out. MLB Ballpark Bites.
Why is it always us?
I can get this in Alaska. What?
Well, we're going to bring it up in a special session, and we're going to vote on it, and you're not going to know the results, and you'll never see it. Just keep doing what you do, you silly people of Alabama.
Yeah.
Thanks, Montgomery.
So this was today's the positive
things to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Tubbs.
All right, that's today's Pat Ponders, brought to you by Courtesy GMC and Trustful. Visit them online at courtesybirmingham.com. Conrad has seen something that he's not fond of. We'll see what it is next here on Three Man Front. It is 1:52. We'll do some worst thing I've seen momentarily. If you're noticing some cracks in your foundation, if your doors and windows are sticking, these aren't just minor problems. They're going to be signs of serious issues down the road. That's why Alabama Professional Services, you need to call them today at 205-951-9717. They have this poly-level system that's going to be able to level up your foundation. They can tackle that sinking driveway. Simply call them, 205-951-9717. AlabamaProfessional.com is the website. APS has been protecting Alabama homes since 1977, and they'll protect yours too. The local team is ready to serve you. Go to their website. Check out all the services that they offer at alabamaprofessional.com.
He sees good. He sees bad. Most of the time, he sees something that's bad. But that's Conrad. This is the worst thing that Conrad has seen.
This is the worst thing I've seen.
Been in quarantine, and I need to get out and party. Woo! What's better than beach and a few drinks and Jeeps? Man, getting better than that. Law enforcement's definitely made their visitability and made people chill out and not be as crazy. The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all gravy, baby.
So as Pat mentioned earlier, this isn't, I guess, dirty, which you would probably qualify a lot of the worst thing I've seen stories as that. But this one is certainly unique, to say the least. So I think we're all familiar with one George Herman Babe Ruth, correct? One of the greatest baseball players of all time, obviously. Well, you might not have known that there is a Babe Ruth who's still living. For now. On August the 12th of 2025, a federal grand jury returned a 91-count indictment against George Herman Ruth, 69 years old, of Morristown, for mail fraud, aggravated identity theft, fraudulent use of Social Security numbers, money laundering, making false statements to a supervising probation officer, and possessing firearms after having previously been convicted of felonies. That is right. Somebody by the name of George Herman Babe Ruth was trying to steal some people's identity. So allegedly, he used the names of hundreds of deceased or former MLB players to make false claims for payouts in class action lawsuits. And so I read through some of the counts. He previously pled guilty in Indiana federal court in 2024 on a scheme to commit Social Security fraud and was sentenced to prison. He was on probation until July of 2025, and then authorities allege that from January 2023 until July of this year, Babe Ruth ran a nationwide scheme where he submitted hundreds of fraudulent claims for class action lawsuits, payments using the names and Social Security numbers of former MLB players. It doesn't list the players whose identities were stolen, but some of the teams include the Kansas City Packers, Chicago Colts, Padres, Orioles, and Mets. He currently faces up to 20 years in prison and a $250,000 fine.
And he was already on probation, right?
Correct. And he will go to trial in January of 2026.
Will the Yankees unretire his number?
Probably not.
That's going to do it for us. God is great. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.